Good evening and welcome to the great city of Opa-locka. Tonight is Wednesday, July 27th, 7 p.m. regular commission meeting. Meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
I'm here.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Here.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
I am present. Please stand for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
God, we thank you for bringing us together one more time in your name. God, we're here to do the work for you, God, and we ask that you bring peace into this meeting, that we would do your will for your people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. Madam Clerk, do we have any awards, proclamations, or acknowledgements?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have several proclamations honoring the achievements of the schools in the city of Opa-locka.
Okay, if the commission can meet me down front. Okay, I think we're going to come back to that to give people time to show up. Do we have any pulls from deferrals or deletions from the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Yes, I like to pull number 1 and number 8.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
Madam Mayor, I would like to
Yes.
pull number 10.
Number what?
Number 10.
10?
Madam Mayor,
Yes. Commissioner Bass. Oh,
I'm sorry. The second one pulled by Commissioner Dominguez, I have 13-1 and,
13-8.
okay, thank you.
And then Commissioner Davis pulled 13-10, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I would like to pull 13-9. Okay, if there's no more pulls, can I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, just for clarification, item 13-5, there are some areas in the body of the legislation which require the blanks to be filled in. Would that legislation need to be pulled?
There's some, I don't know,
Blanks in the
Blanks, oh.
legislation in terms of numbers that need to be included?
that's correct. Mr. Manager, will you be pulling? Well, we will pull.
So you
Would
need
you-
it to
Madam
be
Mayor?
pulled?
Would you like it to stay on?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to call up our budget administrator, Mr. Anathan, to address if there is anything missing from this item, if so, what? And
Wait. But we can't do that now. We're pulling.
we need to
What-
have an understanding because this is legislation that might be required by statute and we could have some problems and challenges if we pull it.
Okay. But can we're gonna pull it and then discuss it,
Okay,
not pull it, right? I mean, we're in the middle of a
okay,
motion.
all right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Madam Clerk, I'll pull number 5. for the
Thank
manager.
you.
Okay, it was moved by Vice Mayor Taylor and second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Williams,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Davis,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Roll call.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
we have a request to amend the agenda.
Oh, you want to amend it? Okay.
Would you like me to proceed?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So the first item would be included as 14.1 under new items. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, calling for a special election to be held on November 8, 2022 in the City of Opa-locka, Florida, to fill an unexpired City Commission term ending November 2024. Further providing for a runoff election if required, providing for conduct of said elections by Miami-Dade County Elections Department, providing that voting precincts for said elections shall be those as established by Miami-Dade County, providing for notice of said elections, providing for the form of ballot and registration in accordance with state law, providing for voter participation via vote by mail in said elections in accordance with state law, providing for payment for conducting elections to Miami-Dade County, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date, and this item is sponsored by the city clerk.
Okay, thank you. We will move the agenda with the new item 14.1. Can I have a motion to move tonight's agenda?
Move it.
Second,
Okay, it's been moved in second. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Baz. Yes. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez. Yes. Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 to amend the agenda to include 14.1.
Thank you.
The next item will be included as 14.2, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the submission of legal invoices attached hereto as Composite Exhibit A to the state of Florida for review and subsequent payment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This item is sponsored by the city attorney.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to move the agenda with item 14.2?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Bass,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 to amend the agenda to include item 14.2.
Thank you. So please make note, we have two new items, 14.1 and 14.2. Can I have a motion to approve regular commission meeting minutes from May 25th, 2022?
Move it.
Madam
Then-
Mayor, I'm
Yes. Oh, you're not done.
I need to vote on the approval of the agenda. I
I thought we
apologize.
did. Okay,
It was moved in second, but then we had the
Yes,
add-on
okay.
items. And we
thank
still
you.
need
Can
to-
I have a motion to approve all of tonight's agenda, including 14.1 and 14.2 and added? Can I have a motion?
Move it.
It's been
Second.
moved in second. Did you all hear who moved in second? It was moved by Commissioner Davis, second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
now that that's done. Can I have a motion to approve the regular commission meeting minutes, May 25th, 2022?
Move it.
Moved.
Second.
Second, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Can I have a motion to approve the budget workshop minutes from July 20th, 2022?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any county commission reports?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay. We will, at this time, I believe everyone is here, so we will now go back to our public presentations for our awards and proclamations. If the commission can join me at the bottom.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to spend this afternoon with us as we go into our regular commission meeting. At this time, we'd like to recognize 3 of our local schools in the city of Opa-locka, one who has excelled to an A and 2 to a B. I'm gonna ask our mayor to stand with me and present those proclamations. And afterward, we are also gonna present something to one of our students from Dr. Robert Bingham Elementary. She has graduated 12th grade.
Just read what you do. Oh, you want me?
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to sit here and highlight our 3 schools in our city with passing grades this year, Beacon College Preparatory, as well as Nathan Beyond. Whereas the success and prosperity of this nation, the state, and the city of Opa-locka depend on the quality of education of our youth to receive from elementary through high school. Those who have made education their vocation work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism and are well deserving of our recognition. And Beacon College Preparatory is a brilliant beacon of hope for all education programs throughout Miami-Dade County. As an independently managed public charter in the heart of the city of Opa-locka. As an educational institution that has risen to the challenges presented in the modern educational environment, the school's leaders have worked hard to excel on every method by which they are measured. And Beacon College Preparatory has made one of the most significant improvements among all schools in Miami-Dade County, placing them among the top performing schools in our community. According to the Florida Department of Education, it is the first A-rated school in Opa-locka since 2005, and we're very excited to acknowledge that accomplishment. Nathan Beyond Elementary School's remarkable success story came on the heels of an unprecedented pandemic and was made possible through a collective effort from students, family members, and staff members who are a part of our community. When students, families, and the schools share ownership of a mission, success is inevitable. Now, therefore, I, Commissioner Chris Davis, along with my colleagues, Mayor Veronica Williams, Vice Mayor John Taylor, Commissioner Charlene Bass, and Audrey Dominguez, do hereby commend Beacon College Preparatory for outstanding educational achievement duly commended this 27th day of July 2022. If Beacon College Prep and Nathan Beyond representatives would come up and receive the award, very excited and very proud of you.
Also, we want to acknowledge that this is Ms. Davis's first year of completion as the principal of Nathan B. Young, right? First year of completion as the principal of Nathan B. Young, and she got that grade first year. First year, so we honor her. And we failed to mention one of the greatest elementary schools in the city of Opa-locka. Y'all know it as Nathan of Opa-locka Elementary, sorry, as Robert B. Ingram. But when I went there, it was Opa-locka Elementary, and it will forever be Opa-locka Elementary. So we want to acknowledge Dr. Clay and bring her up as well.
So we wanted to make sure, first of all, thank you, Commissioner Dr. Bass, for proffering this, and to make sure that we celebrate our schools. We know that education is the key. Many of us are educators, or in my case, a vice principal, and we know that celebrating the successes of our schools, but 2 B schools and an A school, that is absolutely amazing. And it tells us that we don't have to go far to have our children in our own community to have a great education. We can have that great education in our own backyard. So we thank you for the principals, the leadership, the teachers who make it happen. Y'all give them a the teachers who make it happen every day. It's a hard job with not enough pay. And the support staff and all the staff, faculty and staff at all the schools, we thank you. And we're so grateful that we can bridge this divide. Well, it's not even a divide, that we can bridge and merge the city and with our schools in the community. So once again, thank you and be blessed. Wait.
I'm gonna ask Lady Samuels to come and fill in for her sister, Mrs. Florida, I believe, who was supposed to be here. She texted me, said she was gonna be a couple minutes late to present to Zaria. She doesn't actually have the check with her. Mrs. Florida has the check, but I just want her to show Zaria some love and call her with you and let her know, Zaria, come, that we are here for you and we're so proud of the work that you have accomplished as a 12th grade student.
Good afternoon. It is with great honor, and of course, as Commissioner Bass did mention, my sister will be here within a few minutes to present the check. But it is an honor on the behalf of my mother, Dr. D.L. Stevenson, and the Aaron James Haley Foundation to present a college scholarship of $1,200 to Zaria. Congratulations to your hard work and your dedication. Oh, Miami-Dade. When I think of your tour, we'll need her.
We will definitely get that check to you. And if you stay a little longer, she said she was going to be here within like 10 minutes. So, yeah.
Check 1, 2.
Okay, moving on. And once again, thank you to all three schools for the success that you all created this year and in this great city of Opa-locka. Madam Clerk, do we have any public presentations?
No, Madam Mayor.
Madam Clerk, please read into record the rules for participation for Citizens Forum.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening. City of Opa-locka Commission meetings are held in person at Shabandi Village Auditorium, 215 Purvis Avenue, Opa-locka, Florida. Members of the public wishing to address the commission may do so in person or virtually. Those persons wishing to participate virtually should register prior to the scheduled meeting time on the city's website at www.opalockafl.gov. When speaking before the commission, please make sure to give your full name and address for the record. There is a 3-minute time limit for public comments. Please adhere to the decorum policy, which is a part of the commission meeting agenda. City commission meetings are aired through live stream at www.youtube.com/user/City of Opa-locka. And at this time, Madam Mayor, I have no virtual comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Citizens Forum is open.
Good evening, Flora Albright, 1146 Medina Street, and I yield my time to Mr. John Renaud.
How y'all doing? My name is Dion Edwards. I'm gonna give my 3 minutes to Mr. John too. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. My name is John Renaud. I work for the Police Department, 780 Fisherman Street. I'm a civilian there. Therefore, I'm also the president of the ASME Union, Local 2068. And I'm also the police chaplain. And I say that for a reason. Because we already had prayer, but I'm going to use some of my time to pray again. Vice Mayor Taylor, I know you're a prayer warrior. God bless all the prayer warriors in here. I know it's not just you, it's more too. Commissioner Bass, many of you, the mayor. So let me take this time to give God honor. And the reason why I'm doing this, people, because God gave us these positions and he gave us these platforms, not just for selfish reasons, not just for what we want. Even when you have a job, it's not just for you to pay bills and get a nice car or get a nice house. It's for you to preach the gospel. So with the platform that I'm giving today, I'm going to give God honor. Father God, here is the day that you said would happen. You said to the union, Local 2068, invite me in the union and watch the atmosphere shift. So therefore, what we did from day one was invite you, Lord God, into the union. Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Nisi. We invite you into the union where we're standing since 2008. Now look at us today. And you said, whenever the flashlight is on you, John, whenever the light is on you, John, whenever the attention is on you, John, you pointed back to me, Jesus, the way, the truth, and the light. Let fire rain from heaven to have your way. Let everyone be a liar and God be the truth. And Father God, if there's anyone in here that want to cause division, we cancel the plans of the enemy. We cancel your plan. The Lord cancels your plan, Satan. May we stand in unity. Yeah. In the name of God, in the name of Jesus. And Father God, we know the war in this city is not a physical war, it's a spiritual war. Therefore, we fight in the spiritual because our weapons are not carnal. They're spiritual to pulling down strongholds. Yes, I lift up all the prayer warriors. Hallelujah. In the name of Jesus, we plead the blood of Jesus over the city. Let God be God in the city. What that means? That means, yes, he's God, but is he your God? Because if he was your God, you will live under his lordship, under submission to him. And lastly, I'll say this, Jesus said it best. They will know that you are my disciples by the love you have for one another. And we pray this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, amen. So with that being said, Commission, I want to talk to you tonight about how the delay in the contracts have been impacting us, impacting me, impacting everybody that's behind me. Last contract we had was in 2008. We've been negotiating for the last 2.5 years. And we experienced delay after delay after delay. Commissioner Davis, when it's time for us to pay our bills, when it's time for us to pay our FPL bill, I can't tell FPL I don't have it because there's another delay in getting the contract ratified. Commissioner Bass, when my rent is due, I can't tell them. The city attorney threw us another curveball that I ain't got that rent money.
So I'm so sorry. I'm gonna pause you there. So there's a decorum policy, and what you've done right now is you're calling out names,
I apologize.
please.
Okay, if I may continue.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So therefore, to say that we're upset, frustrated is an understatement. We need this contract ratified as soon as possible. No more delays. The last contract we agreed to, we didn't even want to agree to that contract because it wasn't the best contract for us, but we agreed to it and there were still delays. Right before we were supposed to get it ratified, that city manager at the time was let go. And we pretty much found ourselves having to start over again. But I'll tell you, God have the right people in place at the right time. Because city manager Williams walked in and he opened up that dialogue. And we had many conversations with him. The people behind me had many conversations with him. And I can say he is a man of his word. And we thank God for him. Yes, amen. Because he understands that when we speak about loving one another, showing love for one another, as you just spoke, it's not just in word. And you understand that faith is a movement, it's an action. And he showed us that he is for the people. And he does care for the people. And I gotta say, I have never seen a city manager like this before. The union supports him. And not just the union, but we have members that are also residents. Therefore, the residents support him. And we know that many other business owners, I've seen them come up here, they support him also. So I'm here to say, let's get this contract ratified. Please, please, no more delays, no more curveballs. Let's get it ratified. And I seen young people up here, and there's young people that are watching. They're watching to see what you do in times like this. They're watching to see what decision that you're going to make. All of you up there are role models. Better than that, Paul said, we're all ambassadors of Christ. Therefore, we are to represent Christ well. So here's your opportunity to represent Christ well. And by doing the right thing and with no more delays. And we are showing the love of Christ. We love the city of Opa-locka. That's why we work here. And we're still here, even through the pandemic, even through the delays. And there's people here that are residents here, and they still live in the city. They could have moved out. You know, inflation's gone up, taxes gone up, gas has gone up, but they still here in the great city of Opa-locka. Yes, it's the great city of Opa-locka. You know why? Because great people live here. Yes, it's great. People don't know the heart of Opa-locka. Forget the headlines. People don't know the heart of Opa-locka. I've seen the heart of Opa-locka, and I thank God for Opa-locka. I want to close by saying, once again, whenever you get the opportunity, whenever the spotlight is on you, whenever the attention's on you, point it back to him, the way, the truth, and the life, the Lord Jesus. And I'm going to turn it over to anyone else in the union that would like to speak. To God be the glory. Amen. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Bass, Commissioner Dominguez, Commissioner Davis, I am one of those that live in the great city of Opa-locka. And with this delay, even being paid, underpaid and everything, I'm still here because I believe in the great city of Opa-locka. I believe that we together can make a change for this city. And so therefore I am pleading, and I thank you, City Manager, for what you have done for us. I plead that we ratify this contract. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioner and City Manager staff. We thank you all guys for everything you have been done for the great city of Opa-locka. And tonight we're here as a union prep, talk about us. I've been here since 2008. I've been in the union, nothing never happened. Since I've been here, I'm the electrician. Some of you guys know me very well here. I'm the only one in Opa-locka as employee here. Every single people in Opa-locka, and they know me on the street, the electrician. I'm the electrician. No, they only know, they know my phone number also. If something happened in Opa-locka Boulevard, the light don't work, they call me 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Mr. Panel, there's no light in Opa-locka. I say, when I come back in the morning, even on Saturday, I come and fix it. Yes, I did. I come and fix it. Everything been done. So if you see the way the Opa-locka look like now, there's no problem for the Chico because of me. Everything, but I need your help tonight. I need your help tonight for all these people behind me, because we be asked and talk so long, nothing never happened. And we have a great city manager who care about us. Anybody who here in this building right here, work for him, he care about everybody. It's no matter who you are. But I'm a citizen of Opa-locka a long time. My address was 241 Seaman Ave. I've been there since 1990. I know Opa-locka, what Opa-locka is. When I was living here in Opa-locka, Opa-locka was not a place to live. It was not a place at that time. I call people talking about Opa-locka. I say, hey, you don't know what's going on in Opa-locka. Opa-locka now like my house, because when I know it, nobody want to come here to live in Opa-locka. Now everybody like to come here to live in Opa-locka, to buy a house everywhere. Everywhere in house in Opa-locka, if expensive, nobody can buy no house. I see all you guys have nice, beautiful face. I see feature from you guys for that good city. From you guys, the city will go forward. I know for sure. All you guys here care about the city. I know for sure. Because the people not elect you for no reason. They elect you to do something for the good city. But from there, I know mayor, commissioner, help us out. But the city manager already did their part. He did his part. But help us out to sign that contract, please. But don't forget the police department too. Without them, we can have no security in here. So I used to work at night. From GJJ at that time, people shooting all over the place. GJJ, the place over there in Alibaba. I used to be there, work at night, checking the light, because people smoking all the time, shooting the light. They have to go over there to fix it. Police was there, shooting all over around. Me and the police was over there. But the police need the contract to be signed to not only us, because without the police, nobody can go nowhere. I'm right or wrong. Nobody can go nowhere without the police, anywhere in the United States. If you're here in this country, you have 20 guns on you for security, it's no matter if they're gonna get you, they're gonna get you. But if one police coming here, anywhere is okay. One call is okay. You don't be something to worry about it. Please help us out to sign this contract. Us, public work, park, and the police department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One 4911 Duval Street, Ario Lundy. Y'all come on, all of y'all, come on. Police officers and y'all, come up, everybody come back.
Mr. Lundy,
Yeah.
Mr. Lundy,
Okay,
continue.
my thing is this. These people are the lowest paid people in policing, the lowest paid. The lowest. I think from 2008 or 2014, they haven't had a contract. They haven't had nothing. Just the other day, I was arguing over a receipt about somebody else bill to pay them. Why these people have to sit here and go through that law enforcement that protects y'all great city? Why? Why these people have to sit here and take the loanness for a contract? Why? Then you're crying every day, but they're riding around going to your neighborhood. You're crying saying that they're not doing things that they're supposed to do. And they're the lowest paid people on the totem pole. These people, these poor people. Why do we have to argue about somebody's money? When these people are taking a risk, when these people are working, why? That shouldn't even be a question asked. It should be negotiated in the right perspective for both people in order to be happy and move on. Why they gotta come up here? Why they gotta be in here? They should be on the street fighting crime over a contract. Why is people saying people are being disrespectful in the city? Is that fair for a contract? Y'all should be in a better position than that to get these people things done. They shouldn't be lined up on the wall looking for a contract from 2008 to 2014. That is ridiculous. These people are literally out there fighting. And we can't come to some kind of agreement? It's ridiculous, guys. Come on, please. This is not about politics. The people, so again, when he's going to retire, he can't get a dollar of what he's supposed to get. That should not be. Everybody else arguing about their situations. This shouldn't be going on for those men back there. They shouldn't be hung up. These people shouldn't be here making no noise about their income. These are the lowest paid people in Miami-Dade County. It's not fair. These people work, man. Things are going up. They're going to be out of the community in a minute. They don't have a place to stay. People are inconsiderate, some people. You can't have that attitude when you're dealing with people's lives. People could catch anxiety attack because their bills can't get paid. They want to have something security. Give them their security, please. Change Opa-locka, change the mindset, move forward for these people. Y'all say y'all want to move forward. Y'all say you want to do better. Do better by getting them straightened out. That's a start.
Thank you, Mr. Lundy.
Get them, man. Let's get these people straight.
Is there?
Good evening, everybody. 1341 Dunat Avenue, George Suarez. Again, I want to thank all of you for coming here and seeing what's going on in the city. I came here a few weeks ago and praised the hiring of the great chief that you guys did and seeing all the development that's going on in Opa-locka. I'm truly happy, but also saddened to see that people have to come here and beg for their right to live. Think about it. Let me give you a scenario. What if you're the commission that changes everything? That makes everybody look at Opa-locka a different way. Because every time you Google Opa-locka, what do you find? Crime, corruption, all kinds of things that break down this community. This community is beautiful. It's a lot of flourished people out of here. You know what's good about this community? It's mud. You know what comes out of mud? Orchids. It's the most beautiful flower. Let's think about that for a second. Let's look at how these people are out here. Let's find a way to fix it. That's what everybody went to the polls and voted for everybody to do this. Let's do it right. All right? Thank you.
Good evening. John Riley, 2963 Northwest 135th Street. Madam Mayor, I would like to ask if it's possible to have citizens input on agenda item 13.1 and 13.10, if it's possible, when that item do come up. Madam Mayor, Commissioners,
I'm sorry, can you say the items again?
item 13.1 and 13.10.
If it's the will of the commission. Okay, they said it's fine.
Madam Mayor, Florida Statute 162 is the code enforcement statute. It provides a method for enforcing the code, but its legislative intent of that statute is to get compliance with the law. And it also states that the statute should not be used for revenue generating. But in Opa-locka, that's what it seems that it's all about. Money. We have people who comply, who come into compliance, but yet they're fined. That's not the intent of the law. A police officer write a ticket, and that ticket comes up in court. If that officer is not present, the ticket is dismissed. If the officer no longer works for the agency, that ticket is dismissed. It's the same thing with code enforcement. But here in Opa-locka, we have code enforcement officer who's no longer work for the city. But they have citations that is being presented and they're being heard, and the officer's not here. That is not the law. That is not right. It shouldn't happen that way. We have residents who get a citation or get a warning and they perform and do what they need to be done and comply. But yet when they come before the master, they get a $250 fine. For what? To generate revenue? That's not what it's about. And for that, we have a lot of businesses and residents when we need them to help the great city of Opa-locka, they turn us down. They say, no, I don't want to help you because of how we're treated. I want to suggest one of two things. You pay special masters. You have the option to get a code enforcement board that's made of citizens and business people or just citizens of Opa-locka. They can hold meetings and you don't have to pay them. And they can listen and be fair to the citizens. Get a board that's going to be fair to our citizens. Treat them right. And not just fine them for the sake of fining them. And also, they can be non-biased. Because there are times when certain people appear. It is appearing that the special masters are biased. They have some personal agenda. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. It really isn't. Thank you for this time. And I hope at one time that we will get a code enforcement board for the city of Opa-locka. Thank you again.
Yeah.
Good evening, all of you, mayor, vice mayor, commissioners, the staff, the manager, and the assistant city manager. My name is Manuel Perez. I live in Opa-locka. I work for the city. I'm going to say something that happened to me with a resident today. They all know me here in the city of Opa-locka. I help everyone. I'm all heart for the people, and I help everyone. But there's a person here that I'm not going to say no name. I'm not going to say no name in any way. But that person, when I talked to her today and I told her that I was going to take care of it, that, there's a process of paperwork to get things done. And I had the truck broken and now I got that invoice that I need to go and get what I need. That lady, I talked to her today and I said, ma'am, I got you tomorrow or Friday. Friday, I'm going to have a coloscopy and I might take my staff to take it and put it for you, to take care of you. And you know what she said? I hope you don't die because I want you to finish my job. That hurt me so much, but so much the way I treat them, that they say that to me the day before I'm going to go and have a position. I mean, that hurt me so much because I don't think I deserve that. Okay, and we getting hit in the head to two persons here. And I don't like that. I don't think that's the way to treat someone, a human being. And you know what? I'm going to do it because I have a heart. Even if I don't do the procedure, I'm going to get it done. But every time they call and that person call me, I will not do it for her. I'm sorry. That's me, because I don't think I deserve that from anybody, or nobody deserves that. So thank you so much. I have a blessed day. God bless you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the dais, and everybody in the public. I know you all know me. I know all of you, some longer than others. I got hired by Opa-locka right after Hurricane Andrew. In 92, 93, I came on board. I was 29 years old. I'll be 59 next Tuesday. Make a note of it. Next Tuesday, 59. The clerk was a cashier at the grocery store. I worked there at an off duty. I had hair like Elvis Presley back then, a full set of hair. I've been through, I happen to lucky me that I like all of you. That always hasn't been the case. I've been to many, many, many commission meetings and lucky me, I like all of you. It hasn't always been that way. I've been asked to speak before in the past. This is the first time in my 28 years that I've spoken at this podium. I've been asked to speak in the past randomly, and I never have. Because at times I didn't really support maybe the, whatever it was, the administration we had, the city manager at the certain times. In 29 years, I've been through 25 chief of polices. Chief Scott Israel is number 25 in 29 years. That's not a good thing. And we've rode the boat in different directions for different chiefs. I came to the podium today. It was the team that asked me if I want to speak. I said, oh my God, absolutely, absolutely. We have a city manager that just, love him. It's just the positive he brings. I always tease him that he has no personal life. I see him at 6 o'clock in the morning when I get here. I see him on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? It's incredible. We have a chief of police that we're all impressed with. I'm still starstruck that he's here. I'm glad he accepted the position. And I'm glad to see that we have a city manager and chief of police that are like, wow, that connect. Thank goodness we're moving forward. And the 29 years here, I'm not to beat up on all of you either. I've seen a lot of changes. Eckerd Drugs, Elegant Beauty wasn't there. There was no McDonald's. I was excited when McDonald's got built. I also remember Opa-locka Elementary School and the Dr. Ingram was good to me. God, Dr. Ingram. But anyways, moving forward. You hear a lot of bad things about Opa-locka a lot of times in the news, and what you don't hear is all the good stuff sometimes. And what you have to give us a lot of credit for is these officers that's standing behind me. It's easy a lot of times to be a police officer in other cities because they're spoiled. They got great brand new cars and they got and they have a beautiful police station and they're entitled and they're spoiled. And here we get the job done every day. No matter how beat up those cars look, no matter that they don't have air conditioning, and thank you for the cars because, but they're coming, but we have officers that we've been here with cars that, like I said, no air conditioning, no police station. No, and you know what? These officers, they go. When they call us, it's not even about the money, it's professionalism. They will go. At no time do they not go any faster, go any slower because they're not getting paid, and they're true professionals. And it's proud to see like, wow, they get the job done. A lot of people in this community love the police department in the Glorieta apartments in the Cordova. They love us, believe it or not. They don't speak up, and this community has a gift for being ventriloquists. You don't know it. In the 29 years I've been here, I'm walking past citizens that speak to you without their lips moving. They're like, okay, he's around the corner, come around, he's over there, he went upstairs, he's in apartment 432, and they give you information and their lips are not moving. You're like, that's incredible as they're walking by, and thank you for being here, and they do love us. But anyways, we need you to support us. They have personal issues like everybody. And we know you care. We know you do, but this is how you show it to us. And we've lost a lot of good officers over the years. We've been lucky to keep a lot of them and we lose them. We lose them and the money, it's sad, but it does matter. It does matter. Their turnover matters. We know we've taken the job, or a lot of them, yes, they take the job and they know what it was when they applied for it, but they get offers everywhere they go. The other departments, officers don't like to talk a lot. Oh, they're getting starting pay this and starting pay that. And when officers have left us, and you know what, then I think I've said enough. But thank you very much, and may God continue watching over all of us. Oh, last thing I want to say, thanks to Opa-locka. It's my chance to say thank you. I brought my first officer in next door program home because I was with Opa-locka. I met my wife 29 years ago on Cairo Lane, thanks to Opa-locka. The beautiful family I got today. So may God continue watching over all of us. Thank you.
Good evening, 2289 Northwest 136 Terrace, Cairo 0. I'll give my 3 minutes to Officer Daniel Kelly.
Marcos Gonzalez, 780 Fisherman Street. I yield my time to Officer Kelly.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. Warm good evening. The reason we are here tonight is because we've been out of a contract for numerous years. And our Opa-locka have been a training ground. And in order for us to stop being a training ground, we got to move this pay up starting salary and start retaining these officers that we have here in Opa-locka. I'm one of the field training officer. And recently, one of the new guys that just came out of my car were telling someone to stay away from Opa-locka. Opa-locka doesn't pay. And I really got offended to that because Opa-locka is the one that gave me the opportunity. It paid my bills, paid my mortgage, was able to buy a nice house. So I took offense to that when we have officers that's come here and just learn all they can and be the best they can somewhere else. We need the diocese to support us, give us what we deserve. We're not begging for nothing that we don't deserve. We deserve it. We work hard. When you guys sleep at night, these guys are out here patrolling and protecting the city. I remember numerous times in the Bat Blues, we go on shooting calls, we're attending to victims while we are there, shooting still going on. In the Triangle, it has changed. It has changed. It is time you guys support this police department. You guys already give us a great chief. So in order for this chief to do his job and retain officers, give us what we need to retain these officers, because all these guys that we have, they're gonna leave. At least get us on the play field. We're not even in the ball game. 38,000 starting is not even a ball game. Just give us even to watch, you know, everybody start off 57, 58. Get me on the field so I can see what's going on in the game. 48 starting, we're still low, but we will be grateful for that 48. Let us start retaining some of these police officers. I'm grateful for the job I have in Opa-locka. You guys give me the opportunity. I'm grateful. But as I told some of these FTO guys, we're not going to keep training these guys for these guys to keep leaving. As soon as they come out of a police car, they come out probation, they go somewhere else. They're wasting our time and wasting everybody else's time. We want the diocese to support us, give us what we deserve. You guys want to sleep good in your bed at night while these guys leave their family? I don't sure if I'm going home to, I love my daughter. I call her my CEO. She's my CEO. Okay? I don't even love working nights anymore because I love when I reach home, she run to the door, she give daddy a kiss. I don't sure if I'm going back home to her. I've been shot at since I've been working in Opa-locka. Before I even return gunfire, I check myself to see if I was shot because I want to know the hell he missed me. Give us what we deserve. That's all we are asking for. Support us. We're not telling you to move us to 60,000. We're just asking for 48 to start. Just let us watch what's going on in the playfield. That's all we are asking.
Lawrence Harborough, 780 Fisherman Street. I can't enter the sentences of Officer Kelly. And I'm gonna ask the board to give a moment of silence for an Andrew Gomez, who was a police officer that worked for the city and was able to go to the county because we weren't paying and he had a baby coming. And he passed away and he didn't get to see his dream. I've been out here 16 years, been injured 3 times, 2 times seriously. My shoulder will never be the same. I've seen officers laying on the ground, bleeding, waiting for fire rescue. We have to work off duties to pay our bills. And I've been the PBA rep for 12 years in my 16 years. And never in the entire time that I've been involved in collective bargaining did I see or witness what went on this past Monday. I have been staying on top of a lot of things. I have a new assignment. It's not easy. We had the great debate come up here, got it at the last minute, put it together, made sure they tried to shine, did the best I could. Made sure everybody get out of here safe. Didn't have one incident, except one person we had to remove. We can't keep getting out of cars and getting thrown rocks and bottles and everything else at us and try to keep people that North Miami's recruiting. Miami-Dade is recruited. We've lost 7 people to the Miami-Dade Police Department. 1 just graduated last week. We can't do it. So during the meeting, normally in the debates, I don't get involved because I am not a lawyer. But there's only so much you're going to take being here, that I have a family that I have to take care of. And when the chief of police is asked a question during a negotiation, and for whatever reason, before that question was asked, city attorney and city manager are going back and forth, and then the chief is asked a question relative to the contract. And he tries to answer the question. And he gets talked over. And then that leads to a 25-minute delay. That 25 minutes or 35-minute delay led to this contract not making it. However, everybody wants to say proper procedures were done. The PBA lawyer was there, which is required, and we were on the last leg. The first time ever, this board of commissioners, the people that are sitting there right now, were at the finish line where nobody else had gotten. We were going to go back to at the end of that meeting and tell everybody this commission supported their workers and their police, and we need to move forward and get on the playing field. It didn't happen. We had battles going back and forth. I was embarrassed. Now, anybody who wants to challenge that, they can pull the tapes from other meetings. I've only spoken 2 other times. Okay? I've been in numerous negotiations. We've been without a contract for a long time.
So
I've never seen that.
I'm going to pause real quick. I'm going to pause. What I don't want to do is take away from your time from speaking. But we have not had a conversation as a board on the contract. We as commissioners, and what you're doing right now is talking about what occurred during negotiations where we weren't there. So it's kind of going a little bit over the line because we weren't in the room when it happened, whereas we shouldn't be. So if you can just make sure your comments stick to that part and not.
No problem, no problem, Mayor.
Thank
But
you.
with all due respect, that was an open meeting. It wasn't closed. So anybody could have attended.
I understand, but we weren't there.
Okay.
Okay.
But I was there, and as an employee of the city, I'm trying to make my point that as the PBA rep elected, which is the same as a shop steward and protected under federal guidelines, I can speak at certain things, but I'm moving forward. I guess pretty much everybody got the picture. We're trying to get there. The final thing I'm going to say is we have a police officer, Edward Vega, standing right here, 16 years coming in and out of the station every day, never calling out sick, retiring Friday. We tried to get the contract done for him also. Because once he retires, he's not entitled per the FRS statute. 16 years, he walked in and out of this station. Injured, came to work, never used the sick time. I have never used any sick time except injury time. Okay? And the reason I'm sitting up here speaking is because I've been a rep for so long. So I know a lot of things, and I can tell you this, that this board is the closest that this police department has ever gotten to a decent raise. That's what I want to see. I want you guys to step up, do whatever we got to do to rectify whatever the problem was the other day and get us on the playing field.
Okay, thank you.
Lowry Simon, 780 Fisherman Street. Good evening, everyone. I have a close friend of mine who, whenever I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, he asks me a question. He says, "How long?" So I pose that question to you all on this evening. How long? I've been shot at, and I wonder if that bullet is worth $38,000. Better yet, I wonder if you believe that my life is only worth $38,000, then by all means, continue to pay us the same you've been paying us. But if you believe that our lives are worth as much as the lives that we protect each and every day, which is invaluable, which is why when a man's home has been broken into, his son was shot and killed, and I'm running towards the house and he's shooting at me. If you believe that $38,000 is what that's worth, by all means, continue to pay us that. But I'm asking you, as the younger guy of the gentlemen who have spoken on this evening, in the 8 years that I've been here, I've learned a lot, I've done a lot, I've been to trainings with other agencies, and the wealth of knowledge that I've gained here in the city of Opa-locka, I run circles around them every day. I mean, I would say that I don't brag, but I'll do it. I'm better than them, but they make more money than me. They ask me how much I make. I wouldn't do what you do for that amount of money. And then we take a test and I score higher than they do. I have a higher aptitude for understanding the elements of preparing legal documents, making my case for what is and what isn't. I can tell somebody what their rights are when they think they know, so that they'll be educated as to know what they need to do when they're dealing with law enforcement. I love my job, and I love it here in the city of Opa-locka. I just hope it's worth more than $38,000. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Bass, Commissioner Dominguez, Commissioner Davis. Dr. King said, we all got here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. And I hope in the next 3 minutes, I could convince you that all the major stakeholders in this city, this incredibly ethical, professional commission, a boss that I've learned more for in 2 months than anyone I've ever worked for before, a man of honor. This incredible community of Opa-locka. I have as unbelievable as this may sound, Commission, I have walked in uniform and I look differently from many of the people that live in the Glorieta apartments or the Cordova apartments. Yet they're taking selfies with me. They're telling me about this police department. They're telling me we're turning the corner. We're turning the corner because of all our stakeholders, but because of these men and women. As I speak to you right now, Vice Mayor Taylor, Ken Otley, and I'm going to talk about him in a second, is out with detectives from this agency at 1355 Alibaba, arresting a group of people for drugs and guns while we're here in the security of this wonderful auditorium. One of the most important things I wanted to do when I became chief of police here, Commissioner Bass, Mayor Williams, is bring diversity, such needed diversity to Opa-locka. I brought in an African-American captain and Captain Otley, who's incredibly talented. Captain Rogers is a captain with us, but the rank is sergeant. And if you know anything about the military or paramilitary organizations, sergeants, Commissioner Davis, sergeants control this agency. We have one African-American sergeant. I will change that. We're giving a test. But here's where I say we're in the same boat now, Commissioner Dominguez. We have one African-American sergeant. He's here. He's got my back. Lowry Simon. And I don't mean to call him out in front of this commission, but think of how I felt, Mr. Manager. You know how I felt when I was told our only African-American sergeant has an application in with the Lauderhill Police Department to start at an entry-level salary because he's making more than a sergeant at Opa-locka. My gosh, you know, most times we got to do things right, but every once in a while, we got to do the right thing. And approving this contract is the right thing. Now, I don't know anything about lawmaking. I could learn a lot from every member of this commission. I don't know a lot about music, but I know about leadership. And I know this. You can't have two chefs. You can't have two mayors. You can't have two senior pastors, and you can't have two head coaches. Mayor Williams, I will absolutely respect and abide by your rules of decorum, and not to mention what happened in the meeting the other day. You were crystal clear on that, and I will honor that request. I invite the commission, each and every one of the commission, to call me when I could tell you what happened in that commission meeting. It was deplorable. It was unacceptable. It was not right. You can't have two leaders. You have the best city manager I have ever worked with, and I don't blow smoke. What's on my mind is on my tongue. When you 5 people pick this city manager, you hit a home run. He needs to lead this agency in contract talks. He needs to be the driving force. Others like myself, we need to be spoken. We need to speak when spoken to. You would have been thoroughly embarrassed at what you heard. I urge you, please call me. Please consider having a conversation with me and letting me let you know what happened in that meeting. I have been in more contract talks than I would say everyone in this auditorium put together in my 42 years in law enforcement. And I've never been so embarrassed and humiliated in my life. Please. These people protect you night and day. We're turning the corner in Opa-locka. I love this commission. I love my job. I'm blessed. You've given me a lot of authority and a lot of responsibility, but with that authority, the Bible tells us comes responsibility, and it's my responsibility. It is the first, and it's probably the last time you'll ever see me, and I'm way over my 3 minutes. Mayor, I apologize. I really, truly apologize profusely. I truly do. Commissioner Bass, Vice Mayor, Mayor, Commissioner Dominguez, Commissioner Davis, I plead with you. Direct this city manager to get a contract. He knows what he's doing. Let him drive this train and let others speak when spoken to. God bless you.
Okay, thank you all so much. Citizens forum is open. Okay. Citizens forum is closed. Okay, we will now start with our consent agenda. Madam Attorney, please read into record 13-1.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, authorizing the exchange of the property identified by folio 08-2122 007 0270 and owned by the city with property identified by folio 08-2122 000 0031 and owned by B Squared Investments LLC, and take all other necessary actions to effectuate the intent of this resolution, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it for discussion.
Move for discussion by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is a property swap for our property that sits adjacent to Siegel Park. For property that we own just outside of Siegel Park. The purpose why we're looking to swap this land is so that we have a continuous 1.7 acres off of the gray apartments behind Northwest 22nd Avenue, so that we can look to utilize our property continuously.
Okay. Discussion from the commission,
Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Thank you. The reason why I pulled this item is because of the fact of where this, oh, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is where this property is located. This is an exchange for a property. My question is, why do we need to extend Siegel Park? Was this a recommendation from the park plan, master plan? And why is the urgency? We have many events in that location. We have funerals, our events that we do. And that lot that's in front of Siegel Park is where people actually park. So if this property is swapped with another property, where they're supposed to park? And I want you to look at page 62, where it says, the city interest in acquiring these properties would be own all the property from Siegel Park and the city-owned properties, former Christian Memorial Hospital site at 14310-14322 Northwest 22nd Avenue. For future expansion of Siegel Park with more recreational amenities, proposed performing arts center, gymnasium, and this is the part that caught my attention, and overflow parking, or for the future multifamily residential mixed development opportunities. So I don't think that this is a great idea to do, because where are everyone supposed to park if this is done? And it seems like it's more geared to building a multi-residential family house. I will not support this, because this is basically taking our little space where people park. They won't have a place to park. Okay, so.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor Taylor.
Okay, though parking was one of my issues, but my main issue was that the property, Opa-locka's property assessment value for that property, but market value and land value is $80,000. For the property that we're swapping out, the land value and market value is $25,000. And that's in 2022. What was given to us was the land value and market value from 2018. And we all know how market and land value works. Once whoever acquires this property and builds on the property, the land value will increase. So though the assessed value, I guess, is less at 2021, but that market value is $80,000. So was that considered when we brought forth this forth, Mr. Manager?
Absolutely, it was. If you're not able to use a piece of property, it doesn't matter how much it is. So long as someone owns a piece of land inside of our land and we own all of the surrounding land, it is of no value to us. And that is over an acre that surrounds that plot that the city of Opa-locka and its residents have not had the pleasure, the use, or the enjoyment of their property.
Okay, but his property sits to the south of that land. So if you actually fenced it off, you can actually utilize that land and go around it to put a parking lot, to put the gymnasium, to put whatever else is proffered in the backup documentation. That's a problem with me, but the fact that we're giving away land for less, it's not a fair trade to me. To me, it's just not a fair trade. That land is assessed at $25,000. Our land is assessed at 80. It just, to me, does not make good financial sense. Maybe I could be wrong, but it doesn't make it make sense to me.
If it be the will, if it be the will of the commission that we block off our land and allow somebody else to develop their land around our land, then that be the will of the commission, sir.
Okay. I mean, because it can be done. So it can be done.
So, oh, you're done. Okay. I can't support this, actually, thank you all, Commissioner, Dominguez and Vice Mayor Taylor. Those are the same notes that I had, but it does, I'm very leery when I see language like future expansion of Siegel Park, more recreational amenities, proposed performing arts center. I mean, who's working on all of this? It's a lot of or for future multifamily residential mixed use development, which we know that's affordable housing, i.e. with that, I'm not gonna say the rest of it. So the issue that I have is if we know we're going to expand in the future Siegel Park, but I haven't seen any markups or anything in terms of parking. We know parking is an issue. That land is used for parking. So if we give this land away now and no one from on the manager's side or the city side has shown us any drawings or what does the parking look like for a recreational performing arts center, gymnasium? I mean, that's a lot. So that I was very leery about that in the memo, because we know this takes time. And I'm curious who's working on all of this expansion for Siegel Park. Are we working on this now?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
that is actually a proposal that was drafted under the Daughtry administration in 2019. It is not currently a part of our parks plan. We would like to review this land for the Miami-Dade County Affordable Housing Initiative.
Wait, so I'm confused. So it was not under, so there's, this language is in two memos, page 61, and also the memo that on page 62. And so it's from the director, Mr. Gay. So what we're saying is this wasn't from your administration, but it was placed in our book.
So we included the memorandum from Mr. Daughtry, and we also included the memorandum from under my administration, where the language also says that the land is contemplated for how, as you read, affordable housing development.
Okay, well, I just want to make clear the memo that I'm reading is from April 25th, 2022, not Mr. Daughtry's memo, which is probably a cut and paste from 2019. So I guess we just have to make sure that things are read a little bit more clear, because that language gave me pause.
My apologies.
And I
Madam
was
Mayor.
leery.
It does look like
So-
a cut and paste from the 2019 memorandum, but as according to our parks plan, there is currently no plan to expand Siegel Park. Again, we would like to, the city of Opa-locka would like to review this land to address our affordable housing needs.
Okay, so So we just have to be careful, not to call out any particular department, but I will, Planning and Community Development Department. We need to be careful because commission does read memos. We do. So if there's any other discussion from the,
I do have
anyone?
one.
Yes.
Mr. Manager, this probably predates you, but if my recollection serves me right. Growing up, I remember there was a story that Siegel Park was there was a pond or a lake there or something like that, and a child died, so they drained it, and then that's what birthed Siegel Park. And as a result, they said that the land could not be developed because of the pond or the lake that was there. Is that not right? I believe that
I'm not-
my recollection, and I'm almost certain that I'm right for that particular part, because this came up before years ago about development on that area.
Given that our community development director was here at that time, I will ask him to come to the podium and address any knowledge that he may have regarding the history of this land.
Mayor and Commissioners, Gregory Gay, Director of Planning and Community Development. As it relates to the history that I'm aware of in relationship to this park site and the expansion, that was taken from documentation from 2011 to about 2014. I came here in 2014. And at that time, the city was looking at an opportunity to expand the park, and to add additional amenities to Siegel Park. Since that time, the zoning has been for residential development since 2014. So that has really been the intent, to look at it from a redevelopment opportunity. As it relates to the history of someone dying there, I'm not aware of that particular information. I'm not aware of it.
I only remember because I'm like I said, don't quote me, but I thought it came up because they said you couldn't develop on that land because it used to be, I think, a lake or a pond or a canal or something that ran through that area.
I'm not aware of it.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
if I may just provide a brief point for Siegel Park. I lived across the street from that park location for quite some time. I do know that the city initially embarked on a capital project to build a community center prior to the Helen Miller Center and its completion. I know that the city did have challenges with that first capital project, and Commissioner Vice Mayor Taylor is correct. That park did have a lake, and I do know that from talking with residents who have lived in the community slightly longer than I have. So I do know there was challenges, with the foundation and the first capital project that the city embarked on. And I literally watched the building sink. And later on, we embarked on a different capital project to kind of rectify that issue. So I do know there are some challenges. Mr. Gay might be able to do some fact finding and dig a little deeper to get more information for a report, if that's the will of the commission. But yeah, that site definitely had challenges relative to building and it being a part of a former lake.
Thank you. We moved the agenda to allow Commissioner Riley to speak on this item. So you can come up and speak at this time.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple of years ago, the city bought property east of Siegel Park. And that land also is for development, but it cannot be developed because unless you can put 60 feet of piling under that land in order to withstand any building. And that land is vacant. The market value of land when it's vacant is okay. Once you put a mortar on it, it's 5 times more valuable than what it is. And what we're trying to exchange, where the city is going to saying that we will own a few, an acre compared to what we invest in. It is not, we're losing money. The citizens be losing money. Future development or affordable housing, Mr. Manager, I will tell you, I've worked with Dade County for 10 years about affordable housing. We've had a number of buildings in Opa-locka for affordable housing. We've won over by the post office. We talk about affordable housing that people cannot afford. I don't know who they talk about when they talk about affordable housing. It must be people that don't live in Opa-locka, and the people that talking about moving here, you know, they get over because they're having 6 figures. They're coming from some other places and all. But this, Mr. Manager, I would have to say is that it's not in the city of Opa-locka's best interest at this time, because we'll be losing money, and the development of it, the developer will be, hey, he getting over on us because he got $22,000 invested, and next thing he know, he have something project that's worth $500,000. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And yes, Madam Mayor, that land, there was a kid, there was a child died there.
Yes.
It was a child that was died in that lake and canal, and Mr. Siegel from that gave the land to the city. I was just elected as a commissioner when that was done. That was 1982. Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Riley, before you leave, there was another item you said you want to speak on. I know it was 2. I didn't write the
Right,
second one.
on 10.
10, thank you.
Madam Mayor.
No, not right now. I just didn't write it down when we
Okay.
get to it.
Well, if I could take a moment, then I can leave.
Oh,
4 days
okay,
from
that's
now, 4 days from now will be August.
got it.
Will be August. School will start, I think, what, August 20th?
August 17th.
Okay, 17 days later. Where's the summer program? The summer's over with. 4 days from now is August. 17 days from that, school start. Makes no sense. Ain't no summer. It's gone.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Riley. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass? No. Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez?
No.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
No.
Mayor Williams?
No.
Motion fails.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. Items 13.5.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, setting the proposed budget for the City of Opa-locka, Florida, as required by state and local agreement of cooperation between the governor and the City of Opa-locka for fiscal year FY 2022 through 2023, establishing requirements for the approval of the city budget on or before August 1st, and forwarding to the governor the proposed annual budget of the city as preliminarily approved by the City Commission for FY 2022-2023, and directing the city manager to forward a copy of the resolution and approved budget and proposed budget to the governor, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager.
Can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Dominguez,
Second for
second
discussion.
by Commissioner Davis. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I will call our Budget Administrator, Robert Anathan, to the podium to address any questions that you may have.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, Bob Anathan, Budget Administrator. That line was left blank on the possibility the commission may want to change the budget as presented. If the commission is accepting the budget as presented, the number would be as follows. $84,912,000 and $7. Let me say that again. $84,912,000 and $7.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yes, ma'am. The number that is in the presented budget is $84,912,007.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I think that the clerk wanted us to pull this for a reason. What is what is that what you were looking for?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
So the only reason I requested that it be pulled, if you notice in the second whereas of the resolution, and I think that's what Mr. Anathan is addressing, there's actually two blank areas. And also in section 2. And I also noticed in the next resolution, 13.6, there are also some areas that need to be filled in that resolution as well.
Is there any particular reason why and for the commission, I'm on page 149. The second, whereas there are two blanks attached here to exhibit A blank and expenditure of blank for fiscal year. Is there any reason why this is blank in our book?
Yes, ma'am. It's been my experience in other cities to leave that blank to allow the commission to make adjustments as they saw fit.
So we leave it blank so that
No,
we
ma'am.
vote?
No, ma'am. It's to be filled in at this time if the commission accepts the budget as presented.
I'm not. Madam Attorney, I'm a little lost. I don't know. Can you explain what we have to fill in the
So when we
budget?
receive the item, we review it and made a note when we send it back, don't forget to add this in. So I'm not, I was assuming at some point it would be added in. But Mr. Anathan is saying that his experience is to leave it blank. And if you all made adjustments, then you would let him know at this time. So if you approve it and you approve the numbers that he just read into the record, then those would be the numbers that will be inserted in the blanks that are in the resolution.
Okay, so let's start over. Attached here to as exhibit A, what's that blank?
Yes, ma'am. It would be the number I mentioned a moment ago. It'd be $84,912,007.
So muffled, I don't.
Sorry, my fault. May I try that again? It's going to be
84, okay, okay.
$912,007.
And then
First blank.
that's the first one. And expenditure of
Same amount.
same amount,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
so $84,912,000, okay,
And $7.
$70.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. So pretty much the same,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
And then on page 150, the city commission hereby approves, the proposed, it would be the same amount, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am, correct.
thank you. Okay. Are there any other questions on this item? Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
thank you. I just want to state for the record that this is just a resolution to be sent to the state in approval of the budget and our wishes. The idea is for the state to provide feedback up until I think it's August 1st.
No, sir, it goes on August 1st. They have to come back by August 31st.
August 31st.
Yes, sir.
So at that time, we'll receive, feedback from the state, whether we have to make any deletions or add anything and their recommendations. And the goal is, to have a balanced and prepared budget by October 1.
Yes. And so we just want to make sure we're all transparent, those that are listening to us on Zoom, that they're following us and know what that amount is. Are there any more discussion items on this? Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Item 13.8.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, accepting the proposal of Cunningham Communications and Consulting Company, DBA, the Brand Advocates Incorporated for Public Relations and Marketing Consultant Services pursuant to RFP number 22-06-14100, and further authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement for same in an amount not to exceed $105,000 per fiscal year, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is a response to the RFP that we put out for a PR firm to provide and support our commission and our city with our public relations and our communications. They will manage our social media, provide for our flyers, cover our pictures for our events for $105,000 annual amount. We had several great bids on this process. I believe you'll see 5 in your package. This was the winning bidder. As city manager, I have the authority to make another recommendation. Here again, I am making the recommendation that the panel made and submitting that to the will of the commission.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the last one. You're making a recommendation to,
This is the same recommendation that the panel made, as this is the winning bid, and I'm submitted it to the will of the commission.
okay. Are they here? I would have loved to have met. Are they? Is the firm here?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay. They're here?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Where?
Brand advocates, are you? Yes, I believe they said they were coming to the meeting. I no longer see them here, Madam Mayor.
Oh, okay. So, wow, so we're gonna. Okay. It would have been nice if they would have been here if we're going to approve them to do all of our marketing. I would hope that in the future that they would stay to the end of commission meeting. If we have any questions, that's a little unfortunate, little something for me. I did, however, I did some research on Cunningham Communications, and I do like what they've done. I think the only pause that I have is that they don't have any cities or municipalities under their belt now. I see projects that they've done, but I have not seen any municipalities that they've been the sole marketing connoisseur for any municipality. They've done the Miami Gardens Bridge. They've done hospitals. So it looks like they've been chosen to do specific projects, but not the actual firm or for marketing or for any city. So maybe I'm wrong. Can someone let me know if they've had a city contract before? Yes.
I would like to turn the floor over to our Assistant City Manager, Ms. Lawson, who oversaw the RFP process for this item.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Good evening. I'm sorry. So according to their RFP package, they have performed services for the city of Miami Gardens, Miami-Dade Expressway Authority, Johnson and Johnson, and Miami-Dade County and several others. But you are correct, at this time, they do not have a current contract with a municipality.
So I want to be clear. They've performed services. There's a difference. Let me go back. And let me give the I'm sorry, I'm taking up time. So their clients have been Johnson and Johnson, where they worked on a specific project. Their clients have also been Miami Gardens for the pedestrian bridge and tunnel project. So there again, when you say they work for Miami Gardens, that's very open-ended. They've never been the sole marketing firm for Miami Gardens. They worked on a project. Also, the Miami-Dade Expressway Authority project. So what I'm seeing, and just so that the commission knows where I'm on page 437, City of Key West and Kissimmee. If you look at, and it would have been great if they were here. I would have loved to have that conversation with them, but they didn't stay. So if you look at the scope of services, I do like that they are willing to rebrand the city. And there's one thing that anyone knows what I've done from the time I got elected is totally talked about branding and marketing. They've done some good work. I don't want to, say that they haven't. I also want to read a quote from one of the owners, I believe. I don't want to mess up her name. There she is, Tasha Cunningham. She wrote in an article where she said, I define success by an impact. For me, it's not about money or recognition. It's about the impact. Does the project I'm working on positively impact the community? Does it have a benefit for the residents and business owners who live and work there? So I really did appreciate that quote. But right now, I personally would have liked, if we're going to give, and I would have actually liked to have met her. I actually took a screenshot of that quote to actually read it to her, to let her know that I was moved by the quote, but again, not here. So we're going to $105,000 each fiscal year. I just would have liked to, had a nice exchange with the company that we're going to give that much money to. My next question, how much did we give our previous marketing firm per year? Anyone has that number?
Madam Mayor, we don't have that information at this time, but we can provide that to you at a later date.
Okay. There's any other questions from the commission?
Madam Mayor.
I believe Commissioner Dominguez was first.
Yes, thank you. The reason why I pulled it is also, I know we've been waiting patiently and we've been asking to get a PR firm. We definitely need it. But my question is there going to be any additional costs? Because I know and I've seen in the past where they'll have a set amount, but then they bill us for certain events or projects, things of that nature. Also, has there been any research as far as any other cities? Because our city is very small. Did we compare other cities based on the size, against ours? Because I mean, this is a lot of money to pay for a firm. Like I said, I'm in support to getting a PR person because we definitely need it, but the amount is really way over. Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Manager.
Yes, ma'am. So the the way the process works is that we put out our criteria for what we're looking for in the city. And we open it up to the public so that people that are interested in providing these services to us compete against each other to win that contract. So while I understand Commissioner Dominguez's concern that perhaps $105,000 is too much to provide annual PR services to the city of Opa-locka, that is the winning bid. That is the lowest bid. All other bids in your package are higher.
Okay, Mr. Manager, but is there going to be any additional cost?
Madam Mayor?
Who, I'm sorry, who? Okay, Mr. Manager.
Thank you. To Commissioner Dominguez, I will open the floor to our Assistant City Manager, Shemeka Lawson, who oversaw the RFP process.
Good evening again. According to their RFP contract, the amount submitted was $105,000 per year. And we did budget for $202,000. And we do not expect any additional costs because the way we did the fee structure was by line item per service. So no, we do not anticipate any additional costs.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Madam Mayor?
Commissioner Bass?
Yeah, just quickly. This contract will be just for a year, right? Would it be just a year contract?
It's a 2-year contract, Commissioner.
Me personally, I would like to see a year contract because it's $105,000 and we need to know that we approve of their work. We need to know that they are able to serve us based on the city's needs. So for me, I would rather a year. I don't know if, well, not that I don't know, I know. I would like for us to take a look at that.
Absolutely. We can, to be the will of commission, I can amend the contract offering to 1 year with an option for a 2nd year.
Right. I mean, I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So,
Commissioner.
Madam Mayor?
oh, yes, Commissioner Davis.
I kind of had something to say, but I would like to second, if that's a motion, Commissioner Bass is putting on the floor. I'd like to second that motion.
So because I was gonna make a motion to defer, but are we gonna make a motion to amend and then we can defer? Can we do that as well? Or, because if we amend, do we have to then go back through the whole RFP process? That's my question, Madam Attorney.
Madam Mayor, you would not need to go back to the through the
Okay.
process if you voted to amend it tonight.
Okay, perfect. Okay. We have a motion on the floor to amend the contract. Yes.
I apologize. We just reviewed the contract again, and they've already included that amendment here with the language that says a 1-year fiscal year with a 2-year renewable clause, subject to the negotiation terms with the city.
What page is that, if you don't mind?
That is page 9.
You said 9?
Yes, it's page 9 of the RFP.
Oh,
So it's
I'm
already
trying
a term of our contract.
In the agenda.
Can someone find that in our agenda packet?
395.
What is it?
395.
Thank you so much.
Oh, the terms of contract at the last.
Okay, so term of contract, everybody sees that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So technically, we don't need to amend it, Commissioner Bass. It is 1 year. If that's okay with you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Madam Mayor?
Uh-oh, yes.
Yes, so what would need to happen is there's a section 11 in the contract called term and termination. And in that section, it calls for one fiscal year with a 2 one-year renewable clause. And so it sounds like what the commission is saying is that you would want 1 year with a 1-year renewable clause. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it says anticipated to be 1 fiscal year with a 2 1-year renewable clause. What you're saying is with a 1-year renewable clause.
I believe that's what Commissioner
That's what, yes,
Bass is
okay,
saying.
got it. Okay, so will need to be amended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
you had requested information regarding how much the city paid for a 1-year contract with the last PR firm. I
Mhm.
do have that number now if you still would like to have it.
oh, yes, if you don't mind, I'm sure it's more.
That number is $228,690.39.
Okay. Does this firm come with, and I was looking for it, but I didn't see it. I know our last firm had a crew, that came with every event, photography, video. This firm, I looked and I didn't see that.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think we have a motion on the floor to amend the contract to say anticipated to be 1 fiscal year with a 1-year renewable clause. Can I have a motion?
I second that motion, Madam.
Second the motion, Madam Clerk, roll call.
This is on the amendment. Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes on the amendment 5-0.
Okay, and on the item itself, item 13.8.
Commissioner,
Oh, go ahead. No,
no, go ahead if you're not ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
I just have one question, Madam Mayor.
Yes, yes.
I just would like to ask the manager, what are the deliverables in the contract? Is there a section when it talks about the deliverables?
Yes, Commissioner. It's on pages. The RFP has the list of the deliverables. It would be page 394. Purpose and scope of work. And then the deliverables or specific tasks may include the following: creating a unique, memorable identity for the city of Opa-locka, developing a comprehensive public relations plan, reviewing and updating the city's web and social media strategies, creating slogan, logo, tagline, etc. as appropriate, directing city communications with the city faces a crisis situation, improve the public and private sector's perception of the city, advising on media, public relations strategies, and multidisciplinary efforts to address possible changes to the city's physical and social fabric, developing and maintaining a diverse media distribution list and media contacts on behalf of the city of Opa-locka, create design flyers for city events and functions, assist city with planning of major events.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
before we call on the vote, I would just like to express my sentiments for a PR firm. Obviously, over the years, I've seen us kind of take a stab at, establishing a PR firm. And personally, what I would like to see at the end of the first fiscal year, when the option is presented to renew the contract, I would also like us to weigh having an in-house PR firm. I do think there are advantages that come with having such a firm and department. For example, when we look at the police department in the city as a whole, there's no public information officer. So I think our marketing and PR needs spans well beyond that what is outlined in this contract, and do acknowledge those gaps. So I just want to put on the record that obviously this is a 1-year contract, but at the end of the 1 year, when it's time for renewal, that that would also be considered.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. I like the word you say wholeheartedly agree with you. I did make that same recommendation in a meeting to the manager's office, and we do need someone in-house. I would like to defer this item. If you all don't mind, I don't want it to go back to RFP, but I would like to defer it personally. I believe that if we're going to have a marketing firm, which by the way, knew was on the agenda. I'm sure they knew because their name is on here. And knew that we were going to vote on this item. It would be great if we can actually meet them in person and actually have some dialogue with them. So if Mr. Manager, if you can have that conversation with Cunningham Communications to make sure that they are here at the next agenda, next commission meeting, that would be ever so great.
If it be the will of the commission, absolutely, Mayor.
Okay, do we need a vote? To the
Madam
deferral?
Mayor, I'm listening.
Do I need to vote on the deferral?
So it's the manager's item.
Okay.
Is he gonna defer the item?
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Madam Mayor,
Well,
if I may quickly.
Yes.
I too would like to have a conversation with them, but I'm also thinking, we're not gonna be in session in August. So we'll go all the way to September, and that's a distance. So that's just my thoughts.
I'm just not comfortable. And listen, if y'all, I'm not comfortable. They knew they were getting this. They knew it. I mean, their name, all the other commission meetings, we had blanks. If I know that I'm about to get a contract for $105,000, I'm gonna be here from start to finish. But that's just me.
So Madam Mayor,
Yes.
so I have a motion if you want to take a vote on the deferment.
Well, the manager already said.
Oh, he's
it was fine.
deferring the
Yes.
item? Okay.
And
Madam
I'm,
Mayor, I would like to determine the will of the commission.
Madam Mayor, I will pull back, and because if it's the one, this company is good for us, I don't want to risk us not having it. So I would go along with the deferring the item.
I'm sorry, do what?
Put it off for the next meeting in like August, September, whatever time. So basically, if that's what you're saying.
I'm saying defer, but I'm almost sure we'll
defer
have
to that.
another meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm almost sure we will have, but you know what? The manager wants us to vote on it. So Madam Clerk, roll call.
So I have a motion to defer, and you want a second, Commissioner Bass?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Madam Clerk, what are we voting on for point of clarity? Is the motion to, can you state for the record?
motion to defer the item.
No.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
No.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes to defer 3-2.
thank
So,
you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
now that the will of the commission is clear, I defer this item.
okay.
And just so that, Madam Mayor, just so the record's clear in terms of how you all operate in the future, you can vote to defer the item. You do not need the consent of the manager to defer an item.
Okay, thank you. Item 13.9. Madam Attorney,
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending resolution number 19-9649 to allow the City Commission to revise the guidelines for the City of Opa-locka Educational Scholarship Program, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the City Commission.
okay, can I have a motion to move by second? For discussion. Any discussion on this item? Was this item?
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Well, going off of the discussion we had, when the item, when we discussed it last time we met, I know there were a few challenges, with the application process. Me being here when, this program was first implemented, I know that, we had challenges with getting the word out and ultimately, with the payments, associated with the scholarships. And then also to acknowledge your concerns that were brought up at the last time we discussed this item, which were relative to basically, since it's being administered in the summer and obviously schools are short staffed and, it might be difficult for students to obtain official or unofficial transcripts. So I don't know, looking at the timeline and given where we are, do we want to extend the deadline of the program and or make any amendments or changes to the application process? If you look on page 491, it basically states, like what we outlined originally in May of 2019. So obviously the dates would change and any other, the amounts are still the same, which is we're giving out 5 scholarships for 5,000. 5 scholarships for $1,000 each, totaling $5,000. I think I heard your comments at the last meeting where you stated that you would like to increase that, maybe potentially increase the amount. So I'm open to any discussion of the board and just want to kind of pick back off where we left off.
Okay, thank you. What 2 things that I would like to amend in the scholarship application. The first one is the 5 $1,000 scholarships. So 2 options, we can increase or combine to make them $2,500 scholarships. I think you'll get better traction. No, I know, having worked in high school and written 5 million references for students, you'll get more traction if the money is higher. So I'm making a recommendation for 2 $2,500 scholarships. And the other recommendation that I would like to make is the 3 reference letters. I would like to make that 2 reference letters, one from, of course, a school official and non-relative, specifically someone that they've worked with. I've seen that amended a few times in a lot of scholarships that have come my way. So those will be the 2 things that I would like to amend. I am glad that we do have the wording has been included of trade school because we know not all students will go to college or university. So I am glad that we do have that language there. So those are my 2 recommendations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
I would also like to amend the GPA requirement, which is, I think it's 2.75. I would like to amend it to 2.5. Just to be able to capture, maybe some of our youth that may fall within that category. I know that the intent is to, award our best and brightest. However, given the experience of the last time the scholarship program was administered, we had low participation. So I think by narrowing the threshold that, we would obviously have a better return in the application process. So I would be in favor. I know you have a motion on the floor, so I don't know if you want to call for the vote on that. I do support it and will second it. But I would also like to propose a motion to amend the GPA requirement under qualifications, which is on page 492.
Yes.
Of our workbook.
So let's combine the motions so that we're not, So the 3 changes would be the combination of the scholarship to 2 $2,500 scholarships as opposed to 5 $1,000 scholarships. The other one is 2 reference letters down to 3. And then the GPA, which is 2.5, which is also in line with a lot of scholarships that are being offered lately. One other, before I move, that's a motion. Can I have a second?
I second the motion, Madam Mayor.
We have a second on that motion. Need a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes on the amendment.
Okay, and one other thing I wanted to say about the scholarship is it is placed on our city's website, and that's not going to get us any traction. I am recommending that the clerk's office send the scholarship out to local CAP advisor. You can also send it to Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and they will also get that out to the various high schools. But when I noticed that it says that the students have to go to the website to retrieve the application, that's probably why we haven't gotten any traction on that. So somewhere soon, I'm recommending in January, that scholarship application, because that's a lot of times when our students are beginning to fill out applications, and they're going to their CAP advisor for that, to see what's out there. Specifically, let's say this high schools in the community, HML, and others.
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
if I may, we have a list of, I believe, 8 students, maybe 8 to 10 students who are interested in applying for the scholarships right now.
so the question is, are we going to move the deadline date? Because the deadline date says May 31st. Are we? So we need to make a motion to move. Is that what you're?
Earlier, yes.
For this year,
Right.
not
Mhm.
next year, this
Correct.
year, yeah.
Correct. Mhm.
So there's a motion on the floor.
Wait. Because we already advertised it the way it is now, I think this should be presented in the next fiscal year. And it should remain the way it is for this year.
It is
No, but we amended changes.
for next school.
next school.
Yes, for
Okay.
next year, not for
Okay.
this year. Is that understood, Madam Clerk?
Because that's,
The changes that we're making would be for next school year, since we're already out of the threshold of the date.
no, but the
Okay, so-
resolution, the resolution was passed in 2019. So that means you're amending the original resolution. So it would be, if it passes tonight, it would be tonight.
Yep.
That's.
Go ahead, Madam.
So Madam Mayor, there's currently funds in the budget in this fiscal year
Yes,
for scholarships. So you're saying you want this to be for next fiscal year?
that is correct. But I'm saying the changes, not the actual scholarship. The scholarship that was written in 2019 needs to be the one that's presented now for this
Okay.
school year. Is that understood?
Yes, do you guys want to discuss a deadline date for submitting the applications?
Yes.
Since this is from 2019.
Exactly. So Commissioner Bass said that there were students now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to discuss that, Commissioner Bass, a deadline date?
Well, we all know that the students go back to college in August, and I know that's only a few days away, but this is not rocket science that we can't get it together and have it where these kids are able to apply for these scholarships. So even though we are on break, I know we're gonna have to work. So if we could, I know we're gonna have a meeting tomorrow, which is too early. So I don't know how much time that the clerk's office would need to get the documentations together that we can distribute them.
Okay, so let me go back because I'm getting a little thrown off. The resolution that was passed in 2019, 18-19 budget has a deadline date of May 31st. So what you're proposing is that we go outside of the deadline date from that resolution, because that's the budget we're using from.
We're gonna have to.
So there's two, you can't,
But we're deviating. from
Yeah,
the
you
original
can't.
resolution,
Right.
which is
Yes.
what I said when I
Um,
started.
Yeah.
We're making too many changes.
it's a lot of changes going on.
Sorry.
No,
To
I
the
was,
sponsor, I would request that you defer this item
Yeah.
until later in the year, and we use the process that we have in place right now. and then bring it back once that process is completed
For this year.
for this year.
Right, so tonight, Madam Mayor, if I may, for the sake of discussion, I think we just need to amend the date.
True.
And
Okay.
keep it consistent since it has been advertised, and then we can bring it back. I guess after the program is finished, I don't know if that would be proper to amend it for the next fiscal year.
So we'll rescind that last vote and make an amendment to change the date, correct? From the original resolution to, I believe, what do you want to say, August?
Like August 12th or
Whatever
something like
works
that.
for,
When did they go back to
because
school?
they have to do it.
Well, remember, they're already in college by then, so.
But they still
So-
gonna need
That's
the
why-
money.
No, I know, but give us a date. You said a date. August what?
I say August 12th, August 19th, August 5th. Those are the last Fridays of this month,
August
of the
5th,
next
surely.
month. 5th.
Are these students, have they already filled out the application?
No, they need
So you
application.
need
We
more
couldn't discuss them
time,
because they
yeah.
weren't
They need more
prepared.
time.
Yeah,
So you're gonna have to say maybe
With the
the end of
clerk's
August.
yeah, what works for you.
They also have
So-
to get a transcript. It
Yeah,
takes a
madam,
process.
yeah.
It's not like you can do it in.
So
2
whatever,
weeks.
Madam Mayor, whatever date you all decide, we will make it happen.
Let me give you a date.
That's August 31st.
will,
Yeah.
August
I like-
31st, that's 1 month.
August 31st, okay.
Yes.
I mean, I would
So-
give them to the end of the fiscal year. I would say September 30th.
Thank you. I was gonna say, give them
If we
to
gonna do August.
September 30th. September 30th to give them some time to garner all this information. Because these students will now have to go back. Remember, they're already graduates. So it's not gonna be easy for them to step back into their school. Okay, so we've amended
Madam-
that. Yes,
Just for clarification, August 31st or September?
September 30th.
Okay.
Madam
Just-
Mayor, I'm
just
thinking the students will be gone already, off
already
the
gone.
college. Like, Madam Mayor?
Yes, Commissioner
Just
Dominguez.
For clarity, classes in the college starts August 25th. So September will be fine because there's also a mini term that they can apply for. And then, so I think that September would be great. So they'll have enough time to get their transcripts and all that information out.
She's amending the date, that's it. So what on the floor, what is being discussed is to amend the date. The scholarship itself, as it was written in the resolution of 2019, will stay the way it is. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, like looking at, yes, ma'am.
September 30th.
Yes.
So I do have a
You
question
need
with
time.
regards
It's-
to that date.
I'm only saying, if you're not going to be able to walk into a school during opening of schools to gather all this information right now. I'm saying you're gonna need up until September. Who's the best to know but me?
I have a question, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
So September 30th is the last day of our fiscal year budget for 2022. I just want to make sure I'm not gonna have any issues processing payment or
True. Okay,
2022.
September
on October
23rd.
1st.
September 23rd. Does that work? September 23rd?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay, September. I'm just trying to give you a date, but give the baby some time to get the information. Okay, so can I have a motion for the amendment of the original resolution for a August 23rd due date?
Move it.
Moved by Vice Mayor Taylor,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Madam Mayor, you just said August. I thought we were talking about September.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, September, you know what I meant, September 23rd.
So Vice Mayor Taylor, Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. And then please, Madam Clerk, if you can just have those notes from all the other amendments so that when we move into the next fiscal year, we can make those changes
Will do.
that we discussed. Thank you. Item 1310
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the city manager to allocate $50,000 for a summer youth program with Career Source South Florida pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in Exhibit A, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date, sponsored by the city. It says sponsored by the City Commission.
Okay. Can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Moved.
Second for
It's been
discussion.
moved in second for discussion. All right. The floor is open.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
Thank you. So I'm looking at the item, which was basically a resolution of this commission to direct the city manager to allocate $50,000 for a summer youth employment program. The intent of this allocation, which was received through consensus vote of the commission, was to put forth a summer youth employment program, which has historically in previous fiscal years have been done in the city. So our hopes was to put our best foot forward in an effort to combat, youth violence and crime and, just to create more fruitful opportunities for our youth. We put this initiative forward. Personally, I have been, reaching out to our appointed officials regarding the status of this item. I have received minimal to maybe no communication. I've even through the clerk's office reached out to Career Source and their representatives and have not received the status update. And now, we're at the 11th hour and we're at the end of the summer, and we even had a resident and former member of this board basically perplexed in the same fashion that I am as to why at the end of the summer, a summer youth employment program is ultimately being presented. I see we have representatives for Career Source on hand, and I hope that, if it's the will of the commission, we would allow them to provide some insight because we did, put this forward in a public forum. And, when we do things like that, obviously we leave expectations for residents and, we're still experiencing hard times as a community. And I just want to provide some answer, have some comments or some reason as to why we weren't able to deliver a program, and if there are any next steps or any potential way to maybe extend the program or any other options that maybe Career Source could potentially present to kind of amend the loss we experienced this summer. I would like, I would hope that the commission would give that sort of leeway to their representatives so that we can have that conversation tonight.
Okay, if it's the will of the board, if we can have Mr. Beasley come up and speak to us about the item.
Good evening to the commission. My name is Rick Beasley, Executive Director of Career Source South Florida. Our address is 7300 Corporate Center Drive. Commissioner, we agree. When we approached, we were here in June. We immediately went back to our board and it was approved and launched. As a matter of fact, we've had conversations with folks from the administration regarding not doing the program at all, because we knew that if you brought it here today, you only had a couple weeks. And so, we had concerns about the delay. We understood that in terms of the research that we run on SunBiz, and as I mentioned to some of the administration, I find that ironic because we leased from you all. The lease did not end until June of this year. And so again, a delay why I wasn't on the last board. We had recommended, one, actually from my staff, was not to do it, period. Now, there are 14 kids because we had a website up running. I made a deal with my staff to say, I'll take care of those staff, those youth. For us, we can do an out-of-school youth program that deals that deals only with those kids that are 16 to 24 years of age. But again, it does not allow for the youth who are a little younger that have that opportunity. And so we were disappointed. Our website was up and running. Our board had approved it. We're ready to go. And so we can modify that the kids that had registered, I'll take care of myself. And again, it was to match funds. I've made a comment that we just need you to allocate the dollars. We can go back and approve the agreement. And that's what we normally do for all our contracts with municipalities and counties. You know, we put up the money, we front the cash. We just ask for the reimbursement and prove that we've served the kids and provide you the report. So that's up to you all, how you all run your city government. But for us, it's an opportunity to get kids working. The reason we approach you all is that I can't just do a program for the city of Opa-locka. If I do, I have to do it for every municipality in the county. And so we're doing the same structure we've done with the city of Homestead, Florida City, Miami Gardens, the one in Miami Gardens. Same thing. Board approved, launch. We had well over 294 kids already registered for that program, rocking and rolling. It will end in a couple of weeks. We have launched a summer youth program for charter schools. It'll end in a couple of weeks. And so we're disappointed, but we can modify it if you want to focus on out of school youth. We have a couple of ideas in terms of pre-apprenticeship programs for construction, as well as automotive. And so it's up to you all. And we'll take your lead, but we think we could do something that those kids between 16 to 24, get them off the street and be able to reduce some crime in that regard. So that's my comment.
Thank you, Mr. Beasley. I heard a couple of options, a pre-apprentice program for construction, as well as automobile.
We have
maintenance.
we have a pre-apprenticeship program that's been approved by the Florida Department of Education. We have launched one with Warren Henry. We've launched one with Bean Automotive, and for those who may not know, Bean Automotive has the Lexus and Toyota dealership. We've had some conversations with the Opa-locka CDC, with Jeff Bridges, who is also a board member of mine, to see about, I know they got projects going on that if we did a pre-apprenticeship program construction, that we can get those students or those youth who live in Opa-locka on those projects. And to me, it was a win-win because they're within Opa-locka, CDC, youth here, everybody's happy, and they're working on those projects that will help build this community. The pre-apprenticeship program and automotive, we can do the training, it will be out of the city, but the jobs will be out of the city since there's no automotive dealerships in Opa-locka, but it still provides a career pathway and not just training for training's sake. Each student will get a certification. I mean, when I say certification, an industry recognized certification that will allow them to be transferable to any other company that they can work for. So those, again, some of the ideas that we have.
Okay, well, I heard a couple of things that I think are amazing and will actually fill voids in our community. One is that it's more of a focus on vocation, and also students will be receiving industry, standard certifications.
Right.
I do realize that this program, when you look at the target age group, is slightly different from the summer youth program that was originally proposed. But this does capture, I believe, what they call opportunity youth.
Opportunity youth, correct.
Which is, those youth that fall within that age gap that obviously are more at risk. So I am in support of it. I think the 16 to 24 age range is kind of spot on. I also like the fact that not only will students receive industry standards and the training, but they will also have an opportunity to work with top tier companies here in South Florida. I mean, I approve it, but I would like to hear from like to take the opportunity to hear from the rest of the board.
If I could, one more comment, let me share with you on the pre-construction on the pre-apprenticeship program that we've launched in construction is in partnership with all the trades here in Dade County. It's a part of the program that we pay for with the school system, Miami-Dade County Public Schools. But when we launched it, it was with the carpenters, pipe fitters, the electrical brotherhood, also the laborers. It was designed so that they can have or fill a pipeline because they need workers. And so the program we've designed with them, the unions actually come out and do a career fair. And the students who are there, I always like to give the analogy is that the students really are the owners and the unions are the players, because the students have a choice between the unions. And I've never seen the unions bid up on the terms of the salaries or benefits just to attract students to come to them. Okay. And so they walk away with an OSHA. And I want to say it's 10 or 20, I'm not sure. But they walk away with that certification in addition to those. And the ones in the automotive, they walk away with 2 certifications in ASE, which is the Automotive Service Excellence certification that you have to have. To be a master mechanic, you have to achieve all 8. These students will walk away with 2 and be able to continue on in an apprenticeship program with either Bean or Warren Henry. We also trying to launch one with the collection. That one we're almost there with the collection. And so it's a win-win for the students there. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Mr. Beasley, hi, how are you? Thank you for being here. My question is, so there's 14 students that are presently in the program. I know you said you would pick up, I guess, the tab pretty much for the students that are there. Is there a way to have them work after school so that they can continue the program that way, as opposed to creating a whole different?
We try not to, because again, you don't want to interfere with their study during the year. And I mean, it's possible, but for us, we try not to do that, because again, it may deter in terms of their academic excellence in school. Now, in the future, you could probably design it that way. But I mean, for us, all our programs, we don't, not for in school. We end by the time they go back to school, because most cases, the students are there trying to get resources so that they can buy their books, they can buy clothes and shoes, what they need to begin the school year. And so what we typically try to do is have a year-round program. I also want to share with you how my funding works. For those in-school students, for year-round, for employment, that's a different rate. They have to be in there for an entire year. The dollars I'm using here are a lot different than that, and it is really for that summer. And I want to spend my money so I don't lose my money. Okay. And so in this case, we just do it for the summer.
So we couldn't, we couldn't make we couldn't create a different, and I do like the apprenticeship program, but I'm just wondering, and I'm not saying these particular students, because it's already done. It's, the school year is about to start, but I know for me, I have a lot of students that work. I would say probably 90%, 80 to 90% of my students work. So I just, and if you're saying in terms of the way your budget is set up, I just wish we could have seen a program more geared to high school students as opposed to students that are out of high school.
Well, again, that was a reason why we pitched the summer when Mr. Davis and I, Commissioner Davis and I spoke about it. This is back in June. And so the idea there was that the students worked in the summer. Again, you can design something where the kids are working throughout the year. First of all, it's going to cost more money. Number 2, it's really trying to find jobs that are around. And keep in mind, we were trying to find employers that were in this frame here within the city limits, or maybe 5 miles outside. So you don't have the transportation, but it can be done. It's just that we didn't design it that way.
So most of the employers are like doing summer internships, right? I mean, I had summer internships.
So then we would have to work out with the employers too, in terms of the availability of them having options to work throughout the year. I can say this, not that it couldn't be done, but the employers that you typically work with, they have it for the summer because there's a need. Now, you have Christmas coming up. There may be a need there. And so it's really more so of designing it where you can get those employers on board. Keep in mind during the summer, that's when you have a lot of employers who are interested. Makes my job a lot easier, my provider's jobs a lot easier to go out and recruit employers to say, hey, we're going to do it for the summer. And most of them like to have it for an internship or a work program to give the youth for that summer, you know. But I would say this, that if we could do it for the out of school, what we envision that both the apprenticeship programs are a little longer. There will be a work experience tied to it. There'll be some stipends. Simultaneously, we can work with the administration to look at designing something that has an in-school component, but we still have to work with employers who would be interested in doing it throughout the year. So that's a different model, maybe a different funding stream. I don't know what you can afford. That's, you know, for us, we'll match dollars because I can't do something just for the city of Opa-locka. Because if I do it for you all, I have to do it for everyone else. And keep in mind how many municipalities I have within this county. Okay. And so that's something that we can look at for the future.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually with you on that. Because I did OJT in high school, so I know that it can work. And with the apprenticeship program, I'm not against it, but I know we had several other agencies that came before us asking to do an apprenticeship program in the city of Opa-locka. One which is right across the street. We had another one that came from Liberty City, and we had another one from Miramar, I believe, or something like that. And I would prefer to see this going to where it was supposed to go to, which is high school students. Not, and though I do at-risk kids, I agree that we should give at-risk children the opportunity, but I would prefer to see this go to where it was initially intended to go.
Well,
So if we
Madam
can
Mayor?
create an OJT type module.
Well, Commissioner, again, like I said, we're not opposed to it. But keep in mind that, you know, we're trying to change on the dime here on something that wasn't the intent. The
No,
intent
no,
was for
no,
the summer. Right.
it's not, I'm not doing a
Yeah,
blame game, but
yeah.
I'm just.
But the item for us is then we have to go out and work. I worked in high school. But for us, it's then going out to find employers who want to do, because it's not just getting a job at McDonald's. That's not the type of work we want our students to go through. We want them to get a hands-on experience. Well, first of all, the work experience should be able to get, they have their own banking account, a work readiness component, but then also getting hands-on with a company that is not fast food or retail. That's not the type of jobs we're gonna try to get our students in. And so those are the jobs that when we were younger, that's what we did. We worked at the fast food, we worked in retail. We didn't go through work readiness. We didn't go through that component. We learned that on our own. And so, again, it's not that we can't do it. It is trying to find employers outside of the structure of retail and fast food. Now, if that's what you want, we can do that. But again, you need those type of companies that are giving them a different work experience that builds to careers and not just a job. And that's what the difference of what I'm trying to do with all the agencies that we work with, the cities we work with. It's not just about getting them a job at McDonald's. It is getting them a job that shows them or provides exposure to a career pathway. And so it's not that it can't get done, because we're only talking about 40 students. It is trying to find those slots that would avail themselves throughout the year that would give them that career exposure outside of the normal retail and fast food. And so we can do that, but it would take some time finding employers who are going to do it throughout the year. That's the piece. Okay.
Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Also too, guys, remember that the summer programs are more geared towards younger students. So while it may be difficult for them to engage and participate in those opportunities throughout the year because of school and you know, maybe they're not enrolled in OJT and that sort of thing, so it may be challenging. But just remember that we do have the summer youth employment program, which is, you know, obviously open to a younger demographic. And you know, just like this fiscal year, the hope, you know, was to engage our youth in that younger age group throughout the summer. I think that throughout the year, personally, I feel that the 16 to 24 age range is ideally spot on. Simple because when you look at workplace law in the state of Florida, and I don't know if you guys worked at 16, but I did, and obviously that's when the laws change. You can work longer hours, you can work, different type of jobs, and that sort of thing. So, me personally, I know that 24 or 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, right? Anybody above the age of 18 obviously aren't students anymore. But I do think the need is here in our community. When you out in the community, you're talking to folks, I see plenty 20, 21-year-olds that, don't necessarily have a direct pathway to a career path. And I think could, benefit from this sort of opportunity. So I would advocate, to kind of keep this age range throughout the year. And that way we can, refer the summer to younger students that, they won't be in school or participate in anything, and they could take full advantage of these sort of work opportunities.
So what I would like to see is to make sure, because we do have an automotive and partner with Warren Henry at my own school.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And it's an amazing program. They walk out going straight into work with Warren Henry. However, I would like to see if possible to make sure some students, I know it's going to be difficult to have Opa-locka students in it because I know that this apprenticeship program, specifically Warren Henry, are schools that are outside of and not really in our surrounding neighborhoods. If that's a possibility, I know it may not be, but I'm just gonna, if we can try as we may.
So Madam Mayor, let me share with
Yes.
you. Well, I mean, because, I'm gonna be very direct. My staff at the time said point blank, no. And I took the recommendation and said, okay, we're not gonna do it because it took too long. So as an option, we went to do the research because the programs are ours, already approved, meaning we work with the Warren Henry project and the Bean Automotive were approved in partnership with Miami-Dade College. We've already met with the folks of the school system. One, we're going to have it at the D.A. Dorsey, but we also can use the program and move it over here to Miami Lakes. So we knew there was an option to be able to have the training right here in the backyard. Okay. We also have the training for the pre-construction over at D.A. Dorsey because again, we already have the contract with the school system. I fund the program with the school system. So, I mean, that's the reason why we propose those items because we know that they get the certification. For us, I mean, I would recommend at this point in time that you could defer it and allow us to come back with two options. The one piece for me is this. To look at for in-school, when I'm saying in-school students who are in the high school right now, I would have to go find employers who are willing to offer that opportunity in the evening because the students can't leave school. Hence, when you have summer employment, they can work a 9 to 5, which is why most employers do that. Okay. And so we have to find employers who will have the ability to offer that option. The other piece, like I mentioned, is that I already had conversations with potential employers in terms of the pre-construction for the pre-apprenticeship and construction. Why? Because I know that the Opa-locka CDC had some projects. One of them was a board member of mine we had and said, oh yeah, we think we can make it work. We can put that as a part of our contract so that I can have guaranteed jobs. Because the one thing I don't like is training for training's sake. I don't want to put a child into a program, get their hopes up high and leads to no employment. That's not what we want to do. And so because these programs have been designed with companies in mind, we know we have jobs tied to them. And so again, we can take a look at two options, bring it back and let you all decide. It's really up to you all. I'm matching the money, but I would say if we take too long, I'm going to have some other options and I'm going to use those dollars to get some other programs running. That's all.
Understood. So, and although we expressed about the after school, you are correct. Most of our students that do leave, they're going to retail or
right.
food to even during OJT. Knowing that when you have that contract with major organizations, generally they're private sector for summer internships,
Right.
that is difficult to,
To continue
to-
because it's more
yeah,
than 9 to 5.
it
and
is,
and they,
yes, it's a 9 to
they
5.
have lead workers or supervisors, managers who are taking the time and some of them have designed their program just for that. Again, it's a 9 to 5.
I agree. I
And
did one
so
with
that's-
AT&T
so
when I was in
that's-
high school, so
So
you are
that's a little
correct.
difficult. So see, I
Yes.
wasn't blessed to work at AT&T. I had to go work at McDonald's and I worked at Hardee's.
Oh, I
those are-
was.
Yeah.
But if what we could do, for sake of time, I guess we have two options. We could defer it if you would like. There, we did talk about the pre-apprenticeship program. I don't know if we're, if everyone is okay with that. I just don't want to. And, I am really saddened, to be honest with you,
So
that
we-
this happened. And I just have to put on record, I'm saddened, I'm disheartened, I'm all of that this happened to our babies. A lot of people dropped the ball. It's not one finger point, and I know people want to point the finger to one entity, but a lot of people dropped the ball on this project. So all we can do right now is to move forward and to fix, and we want you to be able to say, yes, I want to work with Opa-locka moving forward so that we can make sure that next summer, this, the kids go right into their internship and it's successful and we can, have this great partnership each summer.
right.
So, to the commission, there are two things we can, Mr. Beasley said we can defer it. He can come back with two programs. Personally, I think having the after school thing will take that off the table because you've already told us it's going to be difficult and I don't want that to make any
So if we're going to
difficult
take that off the table, then,
issues.
let's just do work on the out of school, because again, you have a number of youth in this community that have either dropped out of school or have graduated who can't afford to go to school. And here's a way that we can look at two career options. And there are other options that we can work with them to get them, into other training. But here are two options that I know that we have employers who are ready to hire. Matter of fact, I spoke to Mr. Ellis, and he mentioned, I know Ariel Lundy. Now, Ariel's been in my ear because there's another project we're working on with him, and that's separate from this entity that we can do. But there are jobs that are available, and you have employers who are willing to train, and that's the piece. And that's the key for us, is that we have kids, we get them off the streets, we can reduce crime. You can take a look at, did the crime rate go down when we had the program in place? And so those are things that, what's in the best interest. We didn't get the summer, okay, we didn't do it. But now we still can affect these children that have no other options because funding wise, they may not afford to be able to go to college. I failed to mention that if we're doing it with also the college and the school district, that they get what and Mayor Williams, you know this better than I do in terms of the credit. Okay, they get that credit so they can continue with their post-secondary education. The pre-apprenticeship programs that we have with in automotive, actually it's an apprenticeship program. They get college credit when they finish. In addition to working, they get the college credit, actually an associate's degree, plus they get the certifications with Warren Henry in Range Rover and Infinity, Audi. They have all those certifications, and that's the beauty of why we want to push that. And I will share with you, Warren Henry has, they have the high school piece, which we're trying to get them to make that at a pre-apprenticeship that bleeds into their apprenticeship program. And it's theirs, it's a 2-year program. But they have such diversity with women, those of Hispanic and those of African descent working at that institution. And so we want to continue being able to build a career pathway, and they truly believe in careers with Warren Henry. Okay.
Okay. I don't know if anyone else has any other discussion. I want to see this move. I don't know if I want to keep deferring, and I want to see it moved. So I'm okay with the pre-apprenticeship program since you've already established what it's for. It's Commissioner Davis, I know this was your items.
Yes, I think it'll be proper, given that the timeline has passed for the summer youth and employment program. I know, it is an agenda item and maybe it is sponsored by the commission, so I guess we can just defer it. And the hope would be, to have Mr. Beasley come back, have him present both options where we can vet. I would encourage, all of us, if you can or, want to have an individual conversation. Obviously, I initiated the process, but we all, reserve the same right. So that the meeting, when the two options are presented, that we can, kind of work through anything that needs to be vetted and come ready to go, so that we don't, kind of fall into the same situation where we lose sight of time and ultimately miss out on this sort of opportunity.
Now, Commissioner Davis, let me, say this, that we can move forward with this one item. And we'll be glad to work with Commissioner Taylor on the other piece. Again, that's really to decide if you all have extra money to do so. We're not limited in that regard. Again, for the in-school, I just have to find employers who are willing to take on students, to provide that career pathway. And again, not just the retail, because I can do that all day long. But, because we all know McDonald's and everyone is hiring right now, but it was trying to get them to get a career pathway and to expose them to occupations that they would never go into. Okay, so we can have this one option here and then work with him to say, okay, look, here's what the cost would be for this project. I'll match half of it. You match the other half. It's a win-win.
Okay.
I don't want to limit. We're not limiting in terms of the resources. It's really up to you all. I'm matching the dollars. I'm not just coming in and saying, hey, I'm matching it. I'm going to take, I'll put the money up front. I just want you to reimburse me. That's all.
So am I hearing, I think I'm hearing two different things. Am I hearing that we're going to defer so that Mr. Beasley can come back with two proposals? Or are we saying go through with the pre-apprenticeship program, which is what I thought?
I think he wants to go.
So let me say this, if I could.
Yes.
I'm not a commissioner. Let's move on with this one. And then we'll reach out to Commissioner Taylor to design another one, separate for the, what do you call it, Commissioner Taylor, before they can work?
It's called OJT.
Yeah, OJT throughout the year, right? So, so let's look at that separately. But, I'll have our staff reach out to your office and say, okay, how do we do this? Keep in mind, I need employers that will come to the table to do it. Because honestly, I just don't want them working at a fast food joint. That's not a career pathway. I really want them to walk away with experience and exposure to occupations they never had before. And it may be a small number, maybe 20, maybe 15, don't know. But let's kind of see what we can do to work with that, because we can work at the high school here to see what we can come up with some students to make it truly beneficial for them. So let's move on with this one, move this forward, get with your office, because again, I'm not limited in terms of resources. That's really up to you all in terms of the resources. I'll match it. I just need you to say yes. Okay, is that okay with you?
Okay, so Madam Mayor.
Yes.
So, a question through the mayor to Mr. Beasley. Currently, we outlined a 50,000 allocation for the purpose of the program as a match. Is that sufficient to move forward with the new proposed program?
It's a match. Actually, I'll pay more.
Okay.
The training will be more. I didn't, for the record, it will be.
Okay.
For the record.
Okay, and then the other issue will be amending this resolution to change the language from summer youth employment to the new proposed program.
It's just a pre-apprenticeship program. It's a out-of-school pre-apprenticeship program.
Out-of-school pre-apprenticeship program. Madam Clerk, you have that motion I would like to put forth to amend the resolution's original language, which outlines the designated program as summer youth employment from career source It says Caruso, Florida. I thought it was
Chris or
Florida.
South Florida.
South Florida, right? To the out of school apprenticeship program. Motions on the floor. I need a second.
I just had a,
Oh, sorry,
one
ma'am. I didn't hear you.
what are the terms of the agreement for the apprenticeship program? Do you have that already?
What do you mean the terms?
So, how long, how many hours, how many?
Well, typically, I mean, it's a pre-apprenticeship program. If those who choose to go into the construction, that's a 16-week program. We're going to utilize the resources from here to provide the stipends and other support services. I'm going to cover some of the training, and then what's left, then we'll use from both. We'll use those dollars as what we call paid work experience, so that they get other training. The beauty of it is if we do it this way, is that, and particularly on the out of school, a paid work experience component does not go against eligibility. So I'm going to take them and move them into the adult side. No money from you all, that's mine.
Of course.
Would they go into the apprenticeship? Because I'm subsidizing part of that with the employer for full employment in terms of an apprenticeship piece, okay? And
Thank
so,
you.
yeah, that makes, okay. So I just want to explain that to you.
Okay.
All right.
There's a motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Vice Mayor Taylor.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
just so that I understand, there is a contract as a part of the backup that that we have. We basically built on that contract. You all sent us a contract on June the 28th. And so we made some slight revisions to the contract, and we were told, or at least through Shemeka, we were told that you all disagreed with the changes that were made to the contract. Some were state statutory required changes.
Yeah, there are a number of
Other-
items within our contract that we were
well,
required to do.
I just want to say there were others that were just standard language, like we don't indemnify, someone that we're just giving money for and we don't have any other contact with. We would have to have language in the contract there, and it's a state requirement as to e-verify. We would have to have certain terms and knowing when to stop, when the contract stops, and what some reporting requirements. That's just standard.
I understand, but let me share with you, I will not give up my indemnification. Just like you under state statute that you have to be indemnified as well as we do. I'm under state statute, just for the record.
Right. So I guess what I'm trying to make clear, because I don't want there to be any disagreement. I mean, I've actually gotten strange calls about this, and we've never had a conversation about this contract at all. Or I've never had a conversation with anyone from Career Source. I get my information from city staff, and that's where we work on. And so we let city staff know if the name is wrong or something like that, and then they go back. When we received the contract, it was June 28th. And the program started June 13th. And so we pointed out the issues with the contract. We were told that you all disagreed with the issues. And so what I'm trying to do is also put it on the table so that the commission is aware that if there are, and they can make a decision whether they want to accept terms that may not be in the best interest of the city, or do something else. Right. And so from my standpoint as legal, all I can do is point out these are the issues, and then it's up to them in terms of what they want to do in terms of contracting. And so I just want to put it on the table that there were some, and I don't want this to be something that, goes beyond this point. And then it's like, oh, well, we didn't know there was an issue in the meeting, because there may be some disagreement in terms of the terms. And so from my standpoint, I have to do my job in terms of, protecting the city and putting things on the record and making sure that the commission is aware that we disagree as to the terms. And so if the commission decides we don't care, then that's fine. But at least, I've done what I was supposed to do. And so once we got this, which was after the contract has started from you all, we put it on the table. And then the item was pulled on July the 6th through the city manager's office. So we have an email to that effect. That wasn't our department. We can't make that decision. And then now it's back before you all. So if you're making changes to the terms of the contract, we have to know what these changes are so that I can make sure that the contract flows with that and and we understand what they're saying and what we're saying, and I have some clear direction about how you all want to move forward.
I'm gonna
Because if he's
suggest
saying
this.
that
Why don't
he's
we,
not,
why don't we just delay it and allow my attorney, because there's certain things that we as an agency are not going to do. We're not gonna put ourselves in jeopardy. I'm already jeopardizing by putting the money up front. I'm fronting the cash. And so we can give you an example of what we've done with the city of Miami. I mean, Miami Gardens, although it's a different city, different legal. But I can only give you examples because I have contracts with the county as well as every other, so I'll leave it up to you all. But again, for us is that we're just trying to serve. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Beasley.
Madam Mayor.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a motion to vote. Would you like to respond?
Well,
or-
who put the motion on the floor? Because we just had dialogue from the attorney as well as Mr. Beasley, and I just asked for the floor and I just was denied. So
Yeah.
Point
I
of order.
think you put the motion on the floor. I'm ready. Yeah, and he seconded. So
okay, so
It's on the
it's
floor.
discussion.
there's no discussion. We're ready to vote.
I have discussion.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's why
I'm
that's
sorry.
why I asked
Oh,
for the
okay.
floor. Okay, I just have two questions. To the attorney, I heard there was an issue with the terms of the contract. Madam Attorney, can you
well,
elaborate
yeah, well,
as to
the-
those specific terms that were
Sure.
problematic?
If you look at the backup items, and the only contract that's before you as a part of this agenda item is the one that I prepared. And so if you look at Exhibit A to the backup, this was one that was done, prepared by me, and Shemeka made some changes to it as well on the exhibits. And we were able to come up with some, these are the terms in terms of what you all are agreeing to do, what the city is agreeing to do, and what the provider is agreeing to do. And so if you take a look at that, that tells you what this is. So if you're passing this or something that looks like this, those are the terms. And so in terms of where this, what I still don't understand is, when does this start? When does it end? And you all need to, have some understanding of that with what you're voting on. When does it start? When does it end? What is going to be done? Does the provider agree to these terms?
I'm
know-
looking at the contract and I'm looking at page 501 and it says by this project shall commence on June 13, 2022. Obviously, we're working with a different program, so I assume the terms will change. I also heard Mr. Beasley state that this is basically a standard contract that he basically has with several cities, probably every city, as
This
well
is-
as the county.
This is not what he was talking about. He was talking about his contract. And his contract is not something that for us would be a legal contract to sign, because it didn't include the language that we would have to have for the city. And we wouldn't, if you're giving money, you're not indemnifying them to give money. So, I represent the city, right? So that's what the standpoint that I'm coming from. So what you're looking at, what you should be looking at is the cities, is the one that we prepared, working in concert with the manager's office, Ms. Shemeka, and myself.
I
versus-
understand the amount, but I do see, I'm looking at Article 4, Contract Sum, Section 4.1. It says the city hereby agrees to pay the contractor for the faithful performance of the agreement for work to be completed in accordance with the agreement requirements and in an amount of $50,000.
Right, that's
sum.
not-
Hold on,
that's
hold
not
on,
an
hold on, let me
issue, though.
finish. Hold on, let me finish. That's the sum. You said the sum was the issue.
No,
The second part of the contract is clearly outlined in Article 3, commencement and terms, Section 3.1. It says the services contemplated by this project shall commence on June 13, 2022, and shall end on December 31st, 2022. So is that not term and amount, both?
My question to
So-
you, right, my question, I never said anything about the amount. Okay, the amount is $50,000. I never said anything about the amount. The term of the contract, if you're changing the type of contract that you're doing, if you're changing something, you mentioned some changes that you wanted to make, is it still the same? Is it still the same time period? It's a reasonable question that I'm asking. If you intend for it to be June 13th, then that's fine. So, and just so that you know, the 31st of December is only a reporting date. So you may want to, look at the, carefully look at the contract and what it calls for, because the only thing that's due on December 31st is a report. But does it go through that term? Does it, so,
I mean, I see a report that's required, but I also see that it says the project shall commence. So obviously, I'm come
commence
from,
means
I'm a
start.
grant writer by trade, so I've done a lot of reporting as it relates to grants, and I do know that at the end of a project, you typically provide a final report.
Of
That's typical
course.
practice.
May I
Yeah.
speak?
Madam Mayor, sorry.
Madam Mayor, may I speak? To the attorney's point, what she's stating is that in terms of the terms, we're going to modify it. The terms will change in
Yes.
terms of the length of the time. And that's going to be the component. We can go back and forth on the other items that we disagree on, but the length of time, if we start to recruit now, and it depends on the program of the child a youth may want to go into. So let's say it is the pre-apprenticeship construction. They're probably going to start to sometime in late August or early September. And so it may go out to when they finish the program in terms of the training, that may end in sometime in December. The work experience component may come in, your money be used during that time, because I like to see how we can use for supportive services and for stipends while they're in training, so they can have some money to take care of basic needs and other supportive services. I'm paying for the training side. And so again, the type of what's in, let me say it this way. I'm not used to a municipality having the agreement approved at that time. The county doesn't do it that way, nor the cities that we work with. I can't tell you how to run your business. That's not for me to do. And so typically what we get is an approval of an appropriations, and we work with the attorney. Because in most cases, I'm fronting the cash. And so again, she is right in terms of what you're approving now, because you're modified, that contract has to change because of what's being asked. Okay.
Okay.
So she is correct. in that regard.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, if I may, so the intent or the recommendation from the attorney's office is to do what tonight to the contract, given the amendment that's on the floor?
It is for you all to look at it and determine what you're agreeing to, so that when we do have a conversation, it will be through the manager's office and they have the conversation. When they do have the conversation with them, what do you intend, how long, and what services? And you have to sort of fill in some of those gaps. I can't just make up something.
So should we just defer the item out, right? Or can an amendment be made to move forward with the allocation? Because I think that's the intent. We want to put the steps or the steps in place, whether it's a $50,000 allocation so that he can work with you, so that we're not in a situation where, we lose sight of the timeline and, things get bounced around and we miss out on his opportunity again. He also stated that, if we're not timely, then, we'll ultimately miss out again. So I think the will is to, at least start, get movement on this item and put things into motion. So my question would be, as our attorney, what is your recommendation to get that process started?
Okay.
Given the resolution and the motion.
I'm
that
sorry,
was just put on the floor.
before, if you don't mind, Commissioner Davis, since this is all of our items, I think it's the will of the commission to defer it so that we can make sure all the nuts and bolts are tied up. But
Well,
if you want to get.
We haven't heard from the commission. There's a motion on the floor. I asked the city attorney just to get her legal opinion. I mean, I have no problem deferring it or amending it, but I would like to have the attorney tell me that and not the board, if I may.
Okay. Well, first, and through the mayor, generally speaking, I'm not aware of contracts. I do a lot of this type of work. I don't, and if Mr. Beasley represents, I believe him, that people just give money and there's no contract. I'm sure that that's been his experience. That's not what I have seen, right? In fact, if there is an agreement like this, normally what I would see is it being a third-party agreement with might be with the entity that's doing the work, with the city, and with the funding source that you're doing and everybody has outlined in this agreement, what those rules and responsibilities are going to be, who's getting money, who's doing the services. We do those all the time. If somebody is providing some type of service, it would be a three-party agreement. But given that that's not the case, and there's matching funds and you're giving money, you want to have some type of contract outlining what the terms are, how long, what's going to be done. None of that really was in the document. And so we gave some minimal type of, things just based on some of the things that they had in there. And we tried to just modify it a little bit. So at this point, what the commission may want to do, so that we're clear and we don't, leave here and then it's an issue of, well, we disagreed on some language and we still don't have any direction. And he says he's a public entity and he has to do it his way. And I say, this is, I'm not recommending you indemnify just to give money. That's a big issue. So if maybe you allow us to work it out, maybe you defer it. I don't know if Mr. Beasley thinks, just so I can complete it.
For the
If Mr.
record,
Beasley thinks that this is very time sensitive and it needs to go forward tonight, then maybe we take our time, go through it on the dais and, everybody understand what we're agreeing to.
for the
Mr.
record,
Beasley?
in terms of money, I'm going to correct you. Most entities, when they give, I'm giving money. I'm not just taking money from you all, I'm giving money. What I stated was, in most of the cities in the county that we work with, they allocate the resources with an intent. It is then approved. We work then on the agreement. But moving forward, I've always fronted the money. I've never gotten anything from any municipality or any county. I fronted the money, then it's reimbursed back to me. And so that's how I take the risk by doing so. And so you want to talk about a risk, Career So South Florida takes the risk because we front the money. And if we don't agree, I still have to eat the cash.
Right.
And so again, whether or not we move forward, that's up to you all. We made an offer. If it's not accepted, I'm fine with it.
I think the commission,
know.
Mr. Beasley, is looking to try to move forward. I think all I'm pointing out is there is an agreement that's attached to this item. So if they move it, it would be moving this agreement. But if you're saying at the end of it, I'm not going to sign it, then we've wasted a lot of time here tonight, because in this agreement are things that we were told you didn't necessarily agree to. And I'm not sure if you all had another agreement and got back with Ms. Shameka and said, yes, it's fine. I don't know any of this, right?
No, again, you all can defer the item. We'd be glad to get back and work with administration. But there are certain items I would tell you, just for the record, just like you're a public entity. You're going to ask me to identify you. I'm a public entity created by Miami-Dade and Monroe County that I'm covered by state statute, that I'm also asked for indemnification. And so if we can't agree to that, I will tell you that will be a sticking point, that I will not put my agency in jeopardy. So I'm just being on the record, but she has, so there are certain items, yes, we can go back and we can work it out and we'll be glad to. I mean, we're not in a rush to begin this. We can design it, but I am going to make my commitment to work with the administration on this piece, as well as working with Commissioner Taylor with the administration on the other side. And then we'll make sure we work everything out in terms of legal side. How about that?
And we're okay with and we're okay with the amendment of the agreement on the back end, correct?
Well, we're gonna get that done before we even come back
Yes,
to the board.
okay, so
All right, then?
I'm ready to vote.
All right. Yeah, well, again,
what are you
let me
voting
say
on?
this.
No, we can defer.
Yeah, let me say this,
My bad.
because again, your attorney is right, because what we have agreed to do is not the same as what's in the packet that you have. If we just said summer employment, we still had to work out the one piece. So why don't we just take it off? Let's go back, work it out, and we'll go from there.
Okay, we'll
Okay.
do that.
All
And
right.
please know you're working with us.
Okay.
Yes.
But I just
With
want
us.
to be very clear.
Yes.
It's frustrating for me. Because again, most cases, folks, I'm not coming to ask you for money. I'm saying if you want a program, I'll match money. Okay? To serve the folks in this community. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, just one statement. I just want to acknowledge what Mr. Beasley just said. It is very unusual and atypical for organization to provide matching dollars up front. If you know anything about grant writing and that sort of process, matching funds are usually reimbursed or provided as a part of a grant. So, this is a unusual, presentation that I think is a good faith effort by Career Source. Commissioner Taylor spoke about other agencies that were interested in providing the same sort of service. I don't recall hearing any of those entities proffer providing a match requirement. So I do want you all to realize that, and I wanted to highlight that. Which is why I've been meeting with Career Source and ultimately would like to move forward with some sort of program for our youth at this point.
Okay, we're going around and around. We know what we need to do. The item is going to be deferred. Thank you so much, Mr. Beasley. We know the great work that Career Source does. It's not we all know the great work that you do and your organization, and we are going to make sure we get this right moving forward. So thank you.
And Madam Mayor, just one last thing. I'll just say that there was never a discussion about a mutual indemnification. That was not the discussion. The discussion was we will not allow there to be any indemnification unless it's of us. And so that was the issue. So with that, thank you.
Okay, we have some two items that were added tonight. We are on 14 new items, 14.1. Madam Clerk, if you can, I believe you already read it into record. So you can begin.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, calling for a special election to be held on November the 8th, 2022 in the City of Opa-locka, Florida, to fill an unexpired term, City Commission term ending November 2024, further providing for a runoff election if required, providing for conduct of said elections by Miami-Dade County Elections Department, providing that voting precincts for said elections shall be those as established by Miami-Dade County, providing for notice of said elections, providing for the form of ballot and registration in accordance with the state law, providing for voter participation via vote by mail in said elections in accordance with the state law, providing for payment for conducting elections to Miami-Dade County, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city clerk.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Davis. Second by Commissioner Bass. Madam Clerk.
Yes, good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Commission. So this item, this resolution is to call for a special commission meeting as a result of the Vice Mayor submitting his resignation under the Resign to Run law to be able to run for the office of mayor. And this would be on the same date as our general election, and we will be piggybacking off Miami-Dade County election, so the cost will be minimal. This election is required since there is 2 years left on his term. And like I said, it's a minimum cost. If we were to have a standalone election, the cost will be much higher.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
Commissioner Vice Mayor Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you. Item 14.2.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, directing the submission of legal invoices. Attached here too is Composite Exhibit A to the state of Florida for review and subsequent payment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date.
Okay, may I have a motion to move the item?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Davis.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Madam Clerk.
Yes, this is sponsored by the city attorney.
Oh, sorry.
And we're looking to certainly catch up consistent with the will of the commission on all invoices prior to the start of the 2020 audit, and which hasn't started yet, but it is our intent to finish all. And this is, others are done, but this is one that we wanted to go ahead and move forward based on wanting to get those things in terms of having financial review by the state. And so this is submitted to you for your consideration.
Okay, any discussion on this item?
Madam Mayor,
Yes,
I
Commissioner
don't have 14.2. If the clerk, I don't know if you guys have a copy, but I'm having trouble locating the add-on.
It's in the, oh, okay.
And by the way, Madam Mayor, Commission, this is in the same format that the state has approved other legal bills, and with the same detailed and everything else. So it's consistent.
It's an individual packet. Madam Clerk, since we just got the invoices tonight, is it possible we can take some time to review and then bring this item back, let's say at our meeting tomorrow? I don't think we've had a chance to review the invoices. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but we just,
Madam Mayor, if I may.
yes.
I would like to have time to review these invoices. I think the last two invoices that this commission approved, both happened at special commission meetings, which I expressed during the first approval of the item, which I obviously didn't agree with. And I know that the state subsequently approved. My position was, in a special meeting, I just didn't feel it was the right form, nor did I agree with the language of the item. But me personally, I would like to have more time to review these invoices, because it does span, time periods where I was actually here and I might be familiar with many of these issues. I also want to acknowledge that, per the attorney's contract, it does state that the approval of any invoices is obviously a city manager's functions. I know we had some challenges with that process, but I just want to state for the record that it was done for a reason. Obviously, we vote on budgets and legislation, but we're not as privy to many of the day-to-day matters, such as meetings and any sort of formal work that's being done in the city, which will make it difficult for us to vet and ensure that these line items are ultimately sufficient and accurate. So yeah, if we're going to approve it, which I'm not totally comfortable with, we can. But yeah, I would definitely like to have more time to do so.
And through the mayor.
Yes.
Yes, so again, it's in the same format. I'm an officer of the court. I'm not gonna put anything in here that didn't happen. Everything on here has backup for it in the way of being able to go on the court record and see that there was a hearing on a certain date or a deposition on a certain date or an email sent or, whatever. This is the standard format that we get for all legal bills. The bill is a small bill. We're looking to try to get it approved on the agenda tonight. We like to get paid for our time, our reasonable time. We've billed on this bill for one attorney only on things that there were several attorneys working on. So it's a really small bill and we'd like to move it forward if it's the will of the commission. And Madam Mayor, just to answer your question about tomorrow night, it's a special notice meeting and it can only be, it's too late to add anything to that agenda. It's already been noticed and it has to be done prior to 24 hours.
Anyone else have anything to say from the commission?
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Being that I
Commissioner
was
Dominguez.
away, I missed this resolution, I guess, when it was read. So what is it that, are we voting on this? Is it deferred? What is this?
So basically the attorney provided her invoices and it hasn't been deferred.
Okay.
Correct? You're requesting for us to vote on it tonight? Is that the request?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner Bass.
I'm not gonna doubt that the invoices are legit. However, I think because we just get it just like right now, I think we should take the time to review it. Because nobody gets a bill and just pay without looking at it. And I'm not saying that I'm not trusting what's on the invoice, but we need to do our due diligence. Just the mere fact that we have our residents who are, watching, and for us to just say, oh yes, without us having a moment, at least a day to do the right thing and move forward. So that's my take on it.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, is there any other discussion?
Go ahead and pull the item. And then I do not think, though, there are two issues with the legal bills. This is an unusual process, not because there's something in a contract that says that the manager approves bills. That's not true. But it's an unusual process because generally this is not an issue. I don't think that anytime I have to get paid, it would be a special meeting. I think that would be, kind of cumbersome. And what I'm trying to do is not have mental impressions of what we're doing and how we're doing it on record so that the public pulls it and, other attorneys see exactly what your trial strategy is or whatever. We do try to put enough detail in the bill to give you an understanding of exactly what we're doing, but sometimes those things have to do with mental impressions. And that's something I just didn't want other attorneys just pulling it, which they've tried to do, and I've actually gotten a court order to stop it. So it's a delicate balance. I hear the will of the commission, and I'll bring it back with several others at the same time and meet with you all in advance. Anybody who wants to meet. Thank you.
Okay. I think what is being said is if we can have it earlier than the meeting so that we can review. I don't think that's outside of anything. I mean, like Commissioner Bass said, I wouldn't pay my bill without looking at the statement. So if this is the statement, then I would like to review the bill. I have no problem, but if you say you're gonna pull it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Madam Clerk? The item was pulled?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
I just want to make sure you heard that because
I did. Thank you.
You look a little sleepy down there. Item 15. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Item 16. AB. This is a second reading ordinance. Madam Attorney.
Item 16A-B, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, amending the annual adopted general proprietary and special revenue funds budgets for the fiscal year commencing October 1, 2021, and ending September 30th, 2022, adjusting revenues and expenditures as reflected in Exhibit A, providing for expenditure of funds established by the budget, authorizing the city manager to take certain actions, providing for appropriation of all budgets and expenditures, providing for fees consistent with appropriations and amendment, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for conflict and repealer, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. The first reading public hearing was held on July the 13th, 2022, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Thank you. Mr. Manager, can you please introduce the item?
Yes, Madam Mayor. So this item is our second reading as per our ordinance for a public hearing of our to be adopted budget. This is part of our process. We actually have a two-part process, as you saw earlier, where the resolution is for us to submit the budget to the state as per our agreement. This is our internal process where we take a second reading at our to be adopted budget.
Thank you. This is a public hearing item. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. Can I have a motion to discuss agenda item 16B1?
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Davis,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Taylor. Are there any questions for the manager? Discussion? Okay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Bath,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Now, city managers report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have just two special announcements that I want to provide and so that we can move forward. I'm having one-on-one meetings with you all to discuss four of our items, particularly our affordable housing initiative that is kicked off this Friday, phase one of it, here at Shabundi from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Mr. Manager, they said they can't hear you on this end.
Oh, my apologies,
Okay.
Madam Mayor. So I just have two special announcements that I would like to highlight. When I was appointed your interim city manager, out of 13 departments, we had 9 vacancies at department heads and only 4 department heads that are actually in-house. Since that time, in our first 90 days, we've hired a chief of police, building license manager, rehired the community development director, rehired the CRA manager, hired a building maintenance manager, appointed a permanent parks director, appointed a permanent IT director, hired a CIP manager, and as of tonight, I'd like to make this special announcement by asking Miss Naima Walker to, oh, did she just step out to go to? I'd like to, at this time, provide a special acknowledgement at this time for the hiring of our finance director, as it has been the will of the commission. So here she is, if she could just stand and be acknowledged. That's fine. Mhm.
I apologize. The joints are giving out on me. Good evening, Mayor and Commission. I am Naima Walker, and I apologize for missing the introduction.
Mhm.
Pleasure to be here at my first full commission meeting with you all and excited to do great things for the city of Opa-locka.
Welcome to the team.
Thank
Welcome to
you.
the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Great.
welcome you. Thank you, Ms. Walker.
Thank you. Apologies again.
Ms. Walker comes with a significant amount of experience, having been a finance director in previous municipalities along the size of Opa-locka, and also having been an elected official. So she understands a lot about the experience on both sides of the roads. We're very excited to have her. As you all know, we've been without a permanent finance director for several years now. And I would also like to make that special announcement that with her hiring, we now have department heads for all 13 of our departments. One additional special hire that I would ask Mr. Deepak Bhatt to stand. He is also our newest employee who just recently started. He is our new city planner. Working, yes. Please come forward. Please come forward, sir, if you'd like to introduce yourself and say a few words.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and Chairman and all the council members. My name is Deepak Bhatt. I'm a city planner and I have global experience from India as well as from Middle East country, as well as I'm Canadian city planner and recently worked with City of North Miami Beach. And I'm really honored to work for the city of Opa-locka. I have my architecture background and work in special Morris architecture. So I'm really glad to work here and I will contribute for the development of the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I had the pleasure, myself and both the assistant city managers had the pleasure of meeting with the city manager of North Miami Beach today, working on some joint initiatives that we want to bring forward that are supported by Commissioner Jean. And so I'd like to also say that I'm winning, that the city of Opa-locka is winning in our rivalry, as this is our second steal from North Miami Beach. Finally, without further ado, as you all are aware, the Miami-Dade County ordinance requires municipalities within the county to comply with what they call workforce housing development, what we know as affordable housing, or we also call affordable housing. We have started to, with the Community Development Department, with the CRA, we've started to push forward on that initiative to be in compliance with the county. On the day that I was appointed, we were already running behind with our submission, and their attorney contacted our office to see where we were at. So we immediately got working on putting together an initiative that we're looking forward to presenting this Friday at Sherbunde from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will be phase one of that project. I will be meeting with all the members of the commission one-on-one to prepare you and answer any questions that you may have in advance. And in lieu of that, we look forward to having our commissioners come out and support. That's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Okay, are there any questions for the manager?
Not really, Madam Mayor, if I may, not really a question, but just a comment. I heard workforce housing, and I did obviously, see the flyer for the event, and it kind of just spoke to affordable housing, but I just want to highlight the fact that, this is an income gap that we, for many years, I believe, haven't, been addressed in this community. We talk about attracting young professionals, and we also talk about losing our best and brightest talent, and contributing to brain drain. And these are the sort of initiatives that we want to put forward to ensure that we are creating opportunities for young professionals and working class individuals that may not fall within the low to moderate income gaps to provide housing and opportunities for them to live and grow here in our community. So I just want to thank the manager's office, this board for supporting those type of initiatives, community development, for hosting this forum and getting the word out, and everyone who was involved, the county for putting forth this initiative towards cities to prioritize this need. I just want to thank everybody that's involved, as I've been an advocate for affordable housing and have realized this gap within the community for some time, and very excited to see it move forward. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else?
To the manager. Well, I totally agree with my colleague for the workforce housing initiatives. The other thing is there was a concern about buses for our children at both Nathan B. Young and Opa-locka Elementary. We reached out to District 1 and they said that it's not a lot that they can do because they are outside of Opa-locka schools are not transported schools. They don't get courtesy buses. And because they're not 2 miles out, there's really nothing that the district can do. So is there something that Opa-locka can put in place? I know other municipalities have it, where they have courtesy buses that are provided by the municipality to transport children to the schools. Specifically, Sailboat Cove that goes to Nathan B. Young, and the Blues that go to Opa-locka Elementary for safety reasons. One, they got to cross over that main thoroughfare, also the train tracks. And then if you do Sailboat Cove, they got to go south to 17th Avenue and cross over to 22nd Avenue. So that's something that we can work on. Can your office work on something to provide something?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Mr. Manager.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Thank you, Mr. Manager, for all the initiatives that you're bringing forth to our community. Are there any official board reports?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any future agenda items?
Madam Mayor, I have one future agenda item.
Yes.
Hispanic Heritage Month starts September 15th. Last year, we were able to bring a festival that we started here in the city called Opa-locka, which, highlighted our Hispanic heritage or the heritage in our community. So the only thing I'm asking is the manager to help find funding for that initiative that we started last year. And we're working on it and also find funding, but I'm asking you to help find funding. And that's the only future agenda item that I have.
Okay. So would that be a mayor and commission festival that you're asking for?
It can be.
Oh, okay.
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. I believe that if we do find funding from the city, then that's what it should be. Can I have a motion for the future agenda item for a Hispanic Heritage Festival?
Second.
Second by, well, it was moved by Vice Mayor Taylor, second by Commissioner Dominguez. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Vice Mayor Taylor, Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any more future agenda items? Thank you. Moving on to Mayor Commission reports. Anyone?
Madam Mayor.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Thank you. I just would like to ask the manager, last meeting, I asked him to execute the paint program. I just wanted to know, when can the residents pick up the paint?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez. As we've had this conversation several times, and you have seen the resolution, you have seen what it directed me to do, which was to fund this program through grants.
Mr. Manager, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but this passed. It was passed by the commission. And later it was approved by Melinda Miguel. So please don't tell me that you got to get funding. It doesn't work like that. So please, this was something that was a directive order for you to have it by this commission meeting. So I don't understand why it's not in place. And I don't want you to, please don't try me, Mr. Manager, because you can try Jesus, but don't try me. I'm done.
Madam Mayor.
I need for you to get this done immediately.
Madam Mayor, I have been continually disrespected on this dais.
How?
And I will not allow Commissioner Dominguez to speak to me that way.
Oh, really?
Correct.
So
Correct.
you can speak the way you like,
Madam
but
Mayor.
when I'm bringing it to your attention, I just want to know When can the residents pick up this paint? It's been passed, it's been approved by the government. I don't understand why it's not in place. I also would like to bring to the attention, yes, this was beautiful today. We had a lot of police officers here, we had the ASMEC here, but nobody knows what happens behind the doors here. Nobody knows. When people sit over there, I experienced it. But now that I'm here, I know what's happening. Okay. I have sent you emails and I've sent you second request emails. And up to this date, I have not heard anything. So I would like to read these emails for the record that I sent you. I sent you one this Monday and I put second request. April 13th, I requested legislation directing you, the interim city manager, to send information to residents by water bills, i.e. newsletter. Examples were provided by the city of Tamarack and Coral Springs. Monday, July 18th, I sent you a text message including pictures regarding an unkept property located at 905 Opa-locka Boulevard. This property was also discussed in our one-on-one. I have yet to receive a response. I know you read them. And I don't understand why is it that I'm not getting a response for you. People don't know really what's going on behind the doors. Nobody knows. They're picturing the perfect interim city manager, but what I've experienced, and I've had one, which was very short, and then another one, another short term while I was here. Never did I ever have a problem with either one during the time that I would send them a message, an email, a text. I would get a response immediately. Yet I do not get that from you, Mr. Manager. And I would like to understand why. Why is it that
So
I'm not
allow me to
getting that?
address that, Commissioner Dominguez. First, let's start with your legislation. And I think you need to understand how this process works. Now, had you read the legislation, you would have been clearer on what I'm allowed to do, what I'm allowed it to do, what the law in legislation states for me to do, and what was approved by the state. Financial impact. This is an unbudgeted program. Various grant programs will be investigated as potential funding sources. I'm doing everything I can to do that. Everything that I can to do that. And we just had a workshop where I actually made the recommendation that we support this program with ARPA funds. I have met with you on this item. I've discussed with you ways that we can move forward on this items. I have sent you emails about this item and the notion,
Mr. Manager,
if I may finish,
please.
the note, because you had your opportunity to speak.
Go ahead.
And I asked that, and I have continued to ask that my calendar is open to you. We do not have
you
to
have
do
canceled
this.
both
I'm
of
going
our
to finish my statement,
And you have
Commissioner
canceled.
Dominguez. We do not have to do this from the dais. We do not. I meet with you more than any other commissioner on here. So the notion that you're somehow not getting the attention that the others get is absolutely not true. And I have
Mr.
proof of that.
Manager,
You have requested more items than any other.
And how many have?
I'm
been
going to
passed?
finish my
Please,
statement.
How many? have
I
been
had my
passed?
opportunity to speak.
Okay,
and if the
okay.
mayor will not reel you in,
Okay.
I will reel you in myself.
Wait, I'm
Please.
sorry, what?
No.
No, we not, if I'm not, wait,
I asked
Hold
Madam
on,
Mayor
hold
several
on.
times when and several
Hold
times
on.
I called on you, Madam. Mayor.
okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end it before I jump in this. So I would appreciate, don't do that. Thank you. She's getting her point across and
I was
and
speaking. I was speaking, Madam Mayor.
you're speaking, but if you can like chill the tone and your voice and you can finish. Thank you.
Which is what I requested you do when she said I should try Jesus.
And you know what?
And that did not happen.
So y'all just remember what is done and said to some or to one, tomorrow can happen to you. You might be on the like list today, but I'm just saying, so I'm only saying let's just all cool your tempers. Yes, that was a little out of line, but you can finish, Mr. Manager. Okay, and we're done.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I mean, since we're on the topic of unresponsive appointed members, I mean, I might as well throw my grievances out. Since everybody's putting it on the record. But I do also share the same challenges with the city attorney's office. Obviously, I spoke on the legislative review. Of the state of Florida, and I probably emailed the attorney, I don't know how many times, from my personal email, from the city clerk's office, and I haven't gotten a response to many of the requested items that I have requested. The most recent item was relative to a shade meeting or just a one-on-one meeting relevant to the litigation matters between the city and Opa-locka CDC. My hope is to at some point have some communication with the city attorney's office, as I mean, basically at this point, there's minimal to no communication. I've sent email after email, nothing is provided in writing. She calls sometimes, or when I call her, she's always in a meeting or, doing something, which I'm not even sure is even city business. It might be for another municipality for all I know, because we just don't have that level of communication. So my hope, since I'm not being communicated to in private sessions, and I know that communications happen with other commissioners, since I don't have that due diligence, I'm going to ask the city attorney on the record, can we please have a shade meeting, or can I have a one-on-one meeting, or can I have a response to the various emails that I sent?
Well, first of all,
Madam Attorney.
first of all, I do respond to you. So it's not like.
Which communications are you referring to? Because I have several emails that have not received a response.
If you'll allow me to speak, please. You said that you would be sending me those, and I look forward to receiving those, because there are not several emails that you've sent me that I don't respond to. That's not even the.
If I may.
No, I'm still speaking. Okay, so you sent me a text message. This week accusing me. You sent me.
I really was asked a question because I can't get one in a private.
I deserve to be able to respond, sir. You sent me a text message this week accusing me of meeting with, and I can read the text message, but it would be very embarrassing.
Okay.
And so let me just say.
Come on, we can't do this, please.
Hold on, Vice Mayor Taylor, hold on. So it is very clear that there are some members of the commission that have issues with our charter members. Somehow, we are going to have to work through this. I understand that we're putting this out on the dais. Okay. Okay. So we're going to end it here. We're not, no, ma'am. We're going to end it here. We're going to ask that you all please reach out to the two commissioners that have issues, because at the end of the day, and I'm gonna say it again, we are your boss. And if there's issues, then we gotta fix it. We have to be professional at all times. So let's try to be professional at all times, please.
Mayor,
Yes.
really quick, and this is, we had a lot of talk early in the meeting and as relates to the contracts. And is it possible that the manager and the attorney can meet with each commissioner separately, one-on-one, to let us know where we are with the contract and what's the next step, so that we can have an answer? I know we can't talk about it out loud because we're in negotiation, but that's what I'm requesting. Is that possible, Madam Attorney?
Are you speaking of the union contracts?
Both, correct.
So yeah, the manager would be the best person, but I'm happy to meet and talk with anybody I do know that the ASME contract has been noticed for tomorrow.
No, I'm really mostly talking about the PBA. I'm understanding that the ask me is tomorrow. But I'm just asking, can the manager and you, however you all coordinate it, meet with each commissioner to let us know where we are
Well, let me,
so we can have a response
I'm,
to
I'm,
give something.
I'm-
That's all I'm asking.
I'm gonna say I'm uncomfortable with that because we've had shade meetings
Mhm.
and the minute I walk out of a meeting, I hear my name come up from employees. And those employees, be it PBA or whatever, to be accused of, halting contracts or those contracts are being stopped by one or two commissioners is out of line and it's inappropriate. And if it's in the shade, then everything that says should have stayed there and it has not. And there's a lot of things. We had this, which I'm all for, but we've also had, a PBA attorney address us. I've never in my life seen that. So I don't know who we are working for because we are in the middle of negotiations. I'm all for what we said we were going to do, but you're not the one whose name is out there that when we're in the shade, there are people on this day is sitting up here that are taking back misinformation. And that's why we had what we had. People are pointing fingers and it has been convoluted. In my 2 years, I've never seen negotiations this convoluted. And so, no, I'm not meeting with no one.
Okay, what I was
Thank you.
asking for was just a simple.
I understand.
So
I'm not
that's all I was
meeting
asking.
nobody.
So I'm not
No.
pointing fingers on who did what or who's
No,
stopping
they
what.
know
I
who they
just-
were.
So that there was some things that was stated during conversations.
understand.
During citizens forum. So
Whoever
I'm just-
commission wants to meet with the managers and
Okay,
manager's
well,
office is
I'll
fine.
send a personal request too.
Okay, perfect.
And we'll go from there.
Yes, because I'm not going through that again. Nope, not gonna do it. Thank you. If there's no other mayor commissioner reports, are there any official board reports? Madam Clerk,
No, Madam Mayor.
thank you so much. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned.